She's like, it's D&D. Of course she's here.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
also
not
just
gonna.
working on art right now.
No, she's mainly waiting
It's
for
it's
D
a
and D.
it's a win-win for her almost
No,
because
no, like legit. I'm currently drawing right now.
Legal
yeah.
in all states. I like how they put that on there.
No, no. There is things that should not be legal in all states.
Now I'm trying to find a. Are Smith and Wesson knives good?
Smith and
I know
Wessons?
they're good for like guns.
Um, they're
They got a
more.
fucking $55 knife right here.
They're better. They're better for guns. But I mean, Smith and Wesson have always have good quality, so it could work.
I just want to find a new pocket knife to use.
All right, I got the YouTube going. Shelby, is your OBS okay? Since Cedric
Hmm.
destroyed it.
I fixed it.
So how did it break? So tell me how it borked. Tell me.
It borked.
So I have our little avatars talk and all that other stuff, and I have to
Yeah,
designate what rooms in the server it's active in.
yeah.
I only have it set for here in Zavala's office.
Okay.
If I can move to any other thing, it sometimes fucks the kit.
Got it. Hmm.
Sounds like you rolled a natural one on the saving throw then.
No, it sounds like someone didn't want to play D&D and broke my system.
Nah.
Damn.
I
All
was
right. Well, Shelby.
talking to Arlette and Reggie about something.
Well, Shelby, the YouTube's on if you want to join in, so you can catch the recording. All right. Since we're doing this, I'm popping a ghost. I don't care if we stop early. I guess I'm staying up tonight. Let's go.
You also had a nap.
I did have a nap.
Don't need a ghost then. Just go drink like a Gatorade or something.
Nah, bro. I woke up at like 6 a.m. today, so I was like, if I don't take a nap, I will hit the 24th hour of the day. If
Why
I
did
drink
you
a
do
ghost,
that?
I don't know,
Because he
man.
was sad.
I was sad yesterday. That's why I didn't show up at all on Discord. I was just depressed. But it's fine. I'm feeling a little bit better now.
Look,
But
as long as your computer isn't fully bricked, like things didn't get shorted out or burned, you're
oh
fine.
yeah, yeah. It here, yeah, no, but it's
Now
just
it's just
like
a minor inconvenience.
it's. I don't know if that's minor because we have to ship it back. It's gonna take like 2 weeks for it to get over there.
Well, that's what happens when you live in England, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Things take longer and they're more
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna get the YouTube started. So clear my throat.
Why do dense urban cities stop between the East Coast and West Europe?
Because there's a giant fucking ocean. that that's why.
I wonder.
I
And
wonder.
bodily water.
Oh,
Hmm.
water. Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, did you
Hmm.
guys see the New Year's super Earth like map? Supposedly there's only like 2 to 3 rainforests left and they're like super tiny.
Damn.
Good old super Earth.
Heck yeah.
Jeez.
Fuck
All
was
right,
that?
he's got to blow his nose.
Oh,
A little
But
giggle.
anyways,
is
I'm
it a
going to
fart?
start I'm going to start the session now. So, last we left off, the crew of the Valiant, upon um, leaving Erisire, took one last pit stop to go check on the hamlet that they first encountered as soon as they stepped on Erisire a few months ago. Finding it completely barren and removed from the map, both figuratively and literally, you all found a mound of dirt, and Fukler said a funeral rite, and you all felt this odd presence hover around you before you decided to continue on to the Radiant Citadel. Upon arriving on the Radiant Citadel, after a minor inconvenience that Fukler accidentally stabbed a child's raspberry jam jar,
You stabbed a child.
you all realize that there's far more refugees and more people coming into the Radiant Citadel, as well as a lingering void storm that is currently happening, which is very uncommon, specifically for the Radiant Citadel due to their protections against natural magics and natural weather. But overall, besides the mass influx of refugees, people are still calm. It's just people are moving a little bit more than they should nowadays. As you all separated into different groups, the girls, specifically Isolde, Tiana, and Glenn, went off to the Crimson Canopy Inn to go get themselves some refreshments and some food. The boys, Fukler, Bayhorn, and Finnegan, decided to go pay Old Thistlewick a visit. And as we left off on our story last time, Chakna and Kayasai went to go visit their old friend Loa. As they went to go find Loa over in her mortuary business, um, they opened the door and they walked in, seeing it was open, and they found themselves a child. And the child directed that and told Loa that she had visitors. And that's where we left off. So, Kayasaya,
Mm-hmm.
as you are currently conversing with Loa here, what do you continue to say to her as we left off?
Um, I believe I presented once dead husband, now alive.
She does have that shocked expression of seeing somebody who has died from your notice turn up suddenly alive, especially after 30 years. It is it's a shock. You can tell by your basic insight that she believed you, but she didn't know if you were able to bring him back due to the nature of her belief in the Raven Queen, and also that's just how her job is as a mortuary, as a mortician. I mean,
I will
Wow.
then turn the conversation basically 180 and ask her, um, where's the latest batch of refugees coming from?
telepathically, as she links to both you and Chakna, she says, "The latest batch of refugees have been coming from all parts of the Astral Sea. Um, None of them have been coming from major prime material planes like they haven't been coming from the Sword Coast or anywhere on Toril. They haven't been coming from Exandria, which is one of the newer prime materials that we have currently linked to the Radiant Citadel. They've just been colonies mostly from the far reaches of the Astral Sea. It seems like the farther you go, the more they come in. And the Void Storm isn't helping either. I've nearly filled up capacity in my holding blocks for my bodies in the back room for the last month and a half at this point.
Well, I'd say for the next year or so, expect a larger
I would have to expand the Black Raven if I'm expecting a larger influx, especially because I'm the only one here currently serving as a customer base for Mortician. She kind of leans in a little bit to you, almost like she's going to whisper, but she tells you in your mind, there has been a new rumblings of a cult happening. Um,
Ooh.
a cult calling themselves the Children of the Broken Sky. They've been spreading in the Radiant Citadel, and it seems like they've infiltrated the ranks of the refugees in order to cause more propaganda and spreading rumors that way. Some of the refugees have already started believing in some of their sayings, and some of the watchers that are protecting the Radiant Citadel have been trying to dispel and quell it. It's a lot of back and forth.
And what is their claim?
its members are claiming that the astral wall is starting to break down. And I don't know any news about that. But with the astral wall breaking down, they have been claiming that it is considered a divine act. And that there's something beyond the walls that is some sort of long lost protector of the planes, some sort of imprisoned by unjustly celestial forces, by gods even themselves. So there's been a lot of turmoil between the Watchers and the cult here. They've caught a few of them, but it seems like the rumors have continued to spread, so it seems like they haven't cut off the head of the snake just yet.
Kai silently how it immediately looks like a, oh shit. I don't know how to say this.
But in any case, I'm going to continue to work as much as I can for myself and the little one over there as she cocks her head over to the child, currently scribbling but keeping a heavy eye on both you and Chakna at the moment.
You're all dead people.
Is he staying within the lines or is he going out of the lines?
Oh, she is completely going out of the lines.
Ah, a little chaos inducing little goober. Little silly goose.
Alira over there is quite a handful, and if business keeps picking up, I'll probably save and earn enough coin, and I'll probably head back home to Mother to probably hold up for a while until everything blows over.
She's got a high enough perception check. I saw you sweating just a little.
Mm-hmm. But let's forget these dark tidings for just a moment. Would you like some tea, some coffee? Would you like any snacks or anything?
Coffee, of course.
Of
Good.
course.
I have some interesting bone marrow coffee that I've been wanting to test out.
What do you mean by bone marrow coffee?
Bone marrow from a displacer beast.
Okay. Is the coffee cooked in the bone marrow?
The coffee, and she kind of like puts her eyes over to one of the back corners of the room where you see a new contraption. It looks like an alchemist table, but you can definitely see that there's different coffee beans kind of just spread around the table. And you see in the middle is this big oval like skull that is carved out, and it looks like she boils the coffee and the water in the skull of this displacer beast.
That is kind of fucking metal.
Saya looks a little unsure.
She, as you look unsure, you look over to Loa's face, and she looks ecstatic about using it. Like she's a very calm, she's a very stoic demeanor, but when she looks at it, she has like a very nice smile on her face.
Accept the gift. It's the proper thing.
I mean, you didn't take the gift from the knight. Anti-gift.
Well, looks at Chakna very nervous. We
Chakna
are.
kind of looks at you, and he kind of like, in his mind, he tells you, "Is it considered unvegetarian if we drink from
No.
bone marrow?"
No, it's dead.
I don't know. But it's not an animal that could have been an ancestor of yours.
I've heard of some of my people that my ancestors did drink from the bones of slain beasts, so I assume this is traditional. And if I think that way, I will have no grief. Would you like to try some coffee?
Well, our explorers.
Loa kind of like looks at the both of you and she telepathically says, "Would you like a cup?"
We'll try a cup.
All right. She walks over and she starts brewing a cup. And as she starts to brew this cup, you see she implements not only basic magic. She uses like thaumaturgy to start the water to boil. Um, she adds all these extra herbs and different components. It's less of a coffee and more of like a brew, like a cauldron or like a witch would do. And after like a few minutes, she finishes some sort of incantation rite that allows the all of the herbs and mixtures start to meld together and turn into one liquid. And the liquid turns solid like a gelatin. And then as that happens, you see her snap her fingers to the side of the displacer beast's skull, and the entire skull starts to turn slightly red as it's heating up, and you can see the gelatin start to like melt very quickly into this thicker type of liquid, and you can immediately smell that it is coffee. There's coffee beans, there's a grind of coffee in there, but there's also so much more that you have no idea what she put in. And it smells slightly pungent, and it smells foul. But she is looking ecstatic about it. After a few minutes of boiling, she takes one of her wooden ladles and pours into a mug for you. And the coffee is thicker than normal coffees that you had. And she gets 3 different mugs and she does it for all mugs and she walks over to you and she places 2 mugs in front of you, one for Chakna, one for yourself. And these are thick black coffee. Like it's a thick black coffee that you're seeing right now.
Ayasaya looks horrified, and she's trying to hide it because this is
You
her
see
friend.
you see Loa just like smelling it, and she is beaming. Her mostly pale white skin is like shining off, like the sun's hitting her in this dark mortuary.
Well, you can't be rude.
It smells foul, yeah?
It smells foul.
She'll take her cup and think the things I do for the love of exploration, hold her breath, and take a sip.
Okay, roll me a saving throw.
Fuck.
Constitution.
Oh no. 20.
20. So you pass the saving throw. Even though you smell the pungent and the toxicity coming from the mug, the first initial sip makes you almost want to spit it back out, but you push through it, and as soon as it starts to slide down your gullet and your throat, it is surprisingly one of the better coffees you've ever had. So roll me a D100.
89.
89?
Yeah.
So, the coffee mixture herself, if you survive the Constitution saving throw, which was a 17, adds a plus 50 to the taste. So this is one of possibly the best coffees you've ever had. But it smells incredibly foul. Like, it's so good that it even rivals whatever Needle made you a fresh mug. And you see Chakna also take a sip, and in your mind you can hear Chakna just go, "Oh gods, what is this?" And you hear him like swallow it down and barely pass it through. And he kind of just tilts his head and he kind of smacks his lips a little bit. He's like, "This is not that bad. I was expecting worse."
Same.
Loa kind of just looks at you and just nods her head, and she just says to you telepathically, "So, how was it? Did you like it?"
It tastes very, very delicious.
Good. I'm excited for that. It has many different properties for medicine. It is very culturally, I guess you could say, unique. I learned it from a drow that passed by a few weeks ago. They take the heads of their enemies and they boil different brews within them to make the effects of the ingredients more enhanced. It does smell a little bit pungent, but if you pass that, it honestly tastes quite wonderful. Um, would you like to would you like to know the recipe, or do you have any spare skulls that you have to boil?
We
Bear
don't
skulls.
have any extra skulls to use.
Uh, that's a shame. Here, I'll write this down just in case you do come in care of some spare skulls that you can muster. You are explorers, so I would assume finding skulls would take no problem. And she starts writing down something. And eventually she finishes writing and she hands it off to you. It is a hodgepodge of random ingredients. Let me go ahead and get my notes out for you.
No need. No need. You don't need to give me the ingredient list. I just
Okay, you
pocket I just pocket
No, you gotta read it.
I pocket the ingredient list with a smile and a thanks.
Boo.
boo.
It's one of those
Boo.
things where it's like I have a feeling as long as I don't know what's in it, I will probably be able to keep it down.
Boo.
Okay. So as you take it and you accept the coffee, Loa kind of looks at you and Chakna and says, "How long are you staying in the Radiant Citadel for? Are you staying for a day or two or a few more?"
Probably just a few hours.
Oh, why rushing off such in a hurry?
We're traveling to Kunmaris.
Oh, you are. Be careful. Some of the astral ley lines I've been hearing have been quite turbulent with creatures and pirates alike. So be careful on your way out.
We always try to be careful.
No.
You say that, but I see you've endured few more battle scars since the last time I remembered seeing you.
Yeah. Um, there's a couple new scars, but
I'm assuming there's more scars that I can't see at the moment.
perhaps.
Well, remember, if you were to die, you have to have somebody take your body over to my mortuary. I'll make sure you have a very fine funeral.
I thank you, but I would prefer to have my funerals be done within Morris tradition.
Oh, well, I mean, bring me back some scrolls or some books, or even have your husband here teach me, and I will make sure you have a Quidmaris funeral tradition. I've already learned so many different traditions as of late. I guess that's both a blessing and a curse to learn how many traditions there are for people's deaths recently. Ugh. I just hope the void storms stop. There's not enough room to go around, so to speak. The refugees have been having to sleep in alleyways or take turns in the magical towers that the Citadel's wizards and mages have been putting up. They are very powerful mages that are able to do great things, but the more people come in, the less room there is for everybody. So it's not it's not uncommon to find a dead body here and there in the alleyways of the Radiant Citadel nowadays. So just be careful where you step, alright?
And we'll be careful, but typically when there's refugees, they're either here temporarily until whatever is happening within their realms go down, or they move on to another realm.
She kind of looks a little bit taken a like not taken aback. She looks a little bit sad at this point when you say that. Sadly, from what I've been hearing on some of the refugees, there's no realm to go back to. It seems like whatever is happening in the far reaches of the Astral Sea, it's starting to cause a collapse in their travels. Some worlds are now just completely cut off from gem travel based on the crystalline gems. Good luck trying to find your way via ship because it even seems like the ley lines have been starting to get cut off as well. So when you make your way out to that asteroid with your husband, just fly carefully and only stay there for as long as you need to, because if you were to get cut off by the arcane ley lines, it would take you so much longer to recover and get back to the Radiant Citadel or wherever else you need to go.
We'll
But
be
what do I know? I'm not a pilot. I'm not a captain of a ship. I just hear rumors and words, so that's as much help as I can give you at the moment.
It's still help.
As you guys are currently like locked into this talk, you hear the pitter patter of feet coming up, and you just hear, "Mom, Mom, look!" And Loa turns her head down over to her child, and you see that her kid flipped over the parchment, and even though it is a mess of scribbled lines, there is a very crudely drawn stick figure portrait of the three of you talking and having a coffee. You hear her sigh, both in and out of telepathic thought. She just bends down and pets her child on the forehead. And you don't hear her talk. You hear the connection break, and now she's only having a one-to-one to her child. So after a few minutes, you see the child just audibly say, "Okay," and nods her head. And you see her open a door in the back corner of the office space, and you hear more pitter patter going up some stairs. I just told her that it's almost time for dinner, so I told her to get the table ready. Would you like to join us, or would you like to make your way out?
We'll probably have to leave here shortly. We'll need to get a dock set up.
Alright. I'm having dinner a little bit early today due to the fact that I've been up almost all night, so I will be closing my doors within an hour or so, just so I can catch back on some sleep. I just hope I don't get any special deliveries in the middle of the night waiting for me in the back.
Yeah, it's gonna be Thistlewick's body. Special delivery. A
But
dead dwarf.
now that now that you're here, is it okay if I send you any sending messages if I learn anything about whatever is happening on the Radiant Citadel?
Of course, you're always welcome to send.
Will do then. Are you sure you don't want another cup of coffee? And she points her mug over to the amalgamation of a coffee table that she has, and she starts drinking her coffee mug.
Oh no, guys, I hold your hands up and like a no gesture, like I'm I'm good.
If you say so, more for me. Anyways, Kaisai, Chakna, and she kind of gives Chakna like a nod and a small bow of like respect. It's good to see you walking around in the land of the living. I hope the Raven Queen didn't keep you for too long. Chakna chuckles and says, Um, the Raven Queen didn't touch my soul at all. It's currently stuck. I've. In the moment of dying, I had a peaceful thought, and my spirit and my mind separated for a moment. My body was recovered, yes, but my spirit is still stuck on my home, and that's where we're going. To be honest, I am a little bit worried of what happens when my soul and body are merged together. Will I become whole? Will I pass? I'm not exactly too sure. But with the captain and our new crew, I think we'll figure it out. Good. You better keep her happy. She is a friend of mine. And even though I have a lot of dead friends in the back, I want to make sure you don't add to the list. Because if you break her heart, I will add you to that list. You see Chakna kind of sweat a little bit. Duly noted.
Loa, Loa, we have been married for getting close to 200 years now. If he
Let me
would
tell
have
you a little
broke
bit
my
about.
heart, he would have broke it already.
I have heard of so many wives' tales of their elven husbands break off their marriage after 500 years because they wanted to chase some young elven body. It could happen. I'm just telling him that if he were to do it, he will be joining the chopping block in the back.
Well,
I am
here's
very
here,
meticulous about removing bones and organs.
well, here's the thing is he's not elven.
Roll an intimidation check.
Even worse, do you realize? Now he cuts him off at this point. Do you realize how perverted men are? And women too. Just I just noticed that if they are not long-living species, they tend to chase after passions and excitement far more frequently.
Well, lucky for me, he's a love species.
In the right in the right concepts, yes. Just don't keep him on any planet for too long, or else time will catch up to him.
Of course.
But you, however, miss, you will long live past when he goes, if he goes naturally. But in your line of work, I would not be surprised if I were to find you in a ditch somewhere.
Damn.
Or perhaps on with the ship.
There's always a body to recover. Trust me, I would know. You sure you don't want another cup of coffee?
I am sure.
All right. You know, I don't understand why people say this coffee is bad. And she takes another big swig. The last time I served it, a goblin had it, and the next day he died of happiness from it. He was in my shop.
Died of happiness. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, definitely happiness. Mm-hmm. Mm.
In any case, it's okay if I have a hug?
Of course.
She walks around the counter and she just gives you this big hug. And you're expecting warmth, but her body is freezing cold.
Like a corpse.
But nonetheless, she does lean into you and gives you this nice tight squeeze. She doesn't say anything. Her mind is blank. You can barely understand or notice her current feelings. But then she taps you, she like rubs your back a little bit and gives you a pat. I need to go make dinner. I'm afraid my child would start cutting up things wrong and not cut herself. She's very bad with knives.
Oh, silly little cereal can burn your hands.
But anyways, Captain Chakna, and she taps Chakna's shoulders and gives him a pat on the shoulder as well. Take care of her. Have a good night.
You
If
as
you
well.
need me, I'll be up for maybe another hour or two. And she leads you out. She waves you goodbye. She doesn't speak to you at this point, and she closes the door behind you, and you're back out into the alleyways of the Radiant Citadel with all sorts of commotion and people trying to bargain and sell things and people making their merry way through their lives. Chakra looks at you and says, "Where to now? The docks?"
With the amount of refugees, I might hold off till we're really close to departure. I don't want to deal with a stowaway.
Then let's deal with our own knuckleheads and let's go make our way back and find them.
Let's
Heroes,
go
right?
see how the boys are doing this away.
I just realized Kaiosaya has homophobia. I mean, heterochromia.
Heterochromia.
Yeah.
Yes, Kaiosaya has homophobia.
I mean, she's also racist towards Gith, so I mean,
She's
she could
racist
have all
towards
of it.
kids. She's homophobic.
No,
What
no,
do
no,
you?
no. She's
She could
not
have all of it, man. I
homophobic.
don't know.
She's not homophobic. She's just her sexuality is one
No,
thing and one thing only, and it's chakna.
it's
She's
Chakna. Her
homophobic.
sexuality is Chakna. So,
Chakna
so,
sexual.
so
Congratulations.
inherently, she is homophobic.
She is homophobic, yeah.
She's no. It's also not racist. It's xenophobic because she hates the Gith so
That's
much. She
even
wants to kill
worse,
them all.
dude.
That's even
No, it's
worse.
not.
That's even
No,
worse,
it's
dude.
not. No,
She'd
it's
be the
not.
perfect sister of
Bro,
battle. She's so
she
xenophobic.
she doesn't hate like a subsect of like a species. She hates the whole species.
The whole species of Gith. It's just any Gith. You
But
got
any
Gith in
other
your
species
name?
is fine.
Yeah, any other species, good to go. Gith? Nah.
I would rather people hate a general species than certain people from that species, if that makes sense. Because I don't know.
Well, if you
It
think
adds
about it,
better character flavor to me. That's just what it that's
It's,
just what it feels to me.
it's a
instead
better
of hating a
character
species of a
flavor.
world, you hate a race of a universe. It's just a
No,
souped up racism.
you know what? You know what? I actually like that there are racist people for specific species. Like
Yeah.
Dragonborn who
xenophobic people?
specifically hates wood elves. That's genius.
Well,
That's genius.
Fookler is secretly racist against wood elves.
We haven't
I
met
don't
one
know if
yet,
it's a
so we
secret or
wouldn't
not. I
know.
think he's just made it public.
Every now and then, Fugler thinks, what were Bayhorn's parents again? Oh, yeah. Sun and Moon Elf. He's clean.
And he's one of the good ones.
He's
He's
one of
one
the
of the
good
good
ones.
ones.
I'd
That's
hire
funny.
him to do my lawn.
That's crazy, bro.
Anyways, speaking of the boys,
He looks like he can count.
as
That's
Fugler is
crazy.
as Fugler is thinking these random thoughts behind Bayhorn's back, Bayhorn, you're currently leading the charge with Finnegan in tow as well.
I am?
Yes,
Yes.
because you're
Oh.
the one who is better moving in cities. So I'd assume you're the one
Yeah.
to lead the charge in cities.
Yeah.
In dungeons, that's Fugler. Cities, it's you.
In dungeons, I just shadow behind him and I look around for shit
You
while
wish
he
you wish for
like
the
looks
best.
horses. I don't
Hope
wish for the best. I
That's
make the
while
best
the
happen.
meat shield charges away.
As you
No,
guys
I
are
don't wish for the
strolling,
best. I hope and I make the best.
as you guys are strolling through the Radiant Citadel, you notice far more beggars than usual. You see a lot of road figures. You hear a lot of whispers and a lot of like conversation happening just all around you. It's kind of a hodgepodge once again, but only a little bit more magnified since the last time you've been to the Radiant Citadel. Um, you also carry this weird aura of almost respect as you guys are currently passing by certain people, like younger adventurers, like new groups who are barely starting their adventuring off because they might have just got in their party formed at the Adventurers Guild, or maybe they're heading to a crystal to travel to do a quest or to explore. Just the three of you alone, even in Finnegan as well, because you can sense this magic like aura around him thanks to his crystalline infusion. You guys all have like this weird intimidating presence as people. Before you had to fight the crowd, but now the crowd splits for you.
We've been doing this for 6 months.
I rolled a 29 on perception, by the way.
So,
Adrian.
Adrian,
Preston, I
Pray
have to let
tell.
you know, in terms of adventuring parties, 6 months is a long time.
I was gonna say,
You
what's
die
the
after 2.
turnover rate? What's the turnover? How often do people die?
Oh, fairly often. Fairly often.
no.
You give us 2
No.
months and then we're dead? Around
No,
there?
typically parties, you would know because adventuring parties would also go to Strixhaven. Typically, parties who have not lost a member yet are rare, exceedingly
one.
rare. You lost one with Kyrian, but
He did,
in
but
terms,
He decided to leave.
he
went
decided
a
to leave.
separate way. He went a separate.
Yeah, but in terms of like an adventuring party and like most of them all dying off except maybe one or two members, that is more common than people think.
Huh.
So, like,
It's a
there's this.
dangerous line of work.
It is a dangerous line of work, and sometimes people are not prepared for it. A lot of people think that adventuring is a job that they can possibly do. They know the risks, but sometimes they fall into something that is far more dangerous than they expected, and they don't make it out.
Insert Goblin Slayer.
Insert Goblin Slayer, exactly. Like, just think about that. Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't hurt that you have literal gods on your side at this point.
A little bit. We have like what,
Little-
3, 4 of them now?
And an omnipresent being known as Q that is like this grand celestial.
We need more gods on our side.
He watches over us every once in a while. You know, it wouldn't hurt, but you know, I don't know if they're exactly going to be on our side. It's gonna be really tough when one of them directly opposes us. That's gonna be awful.
I mean, I almost made that happen.
Yeah, you did. But anyways, as you guys are currently walking through the city streets, you turn the corner and you see the old Arcane Oddities that is owned by Sir Thistlewick. And you see it's still bustling as ever. The door is currently open. You see people are going in and out. You see the glass panes of the windows are freshly cleaned. You see that there's people outside doing the gardening work. Looks like he hired workers. It seems like business has been booming. What do you guys do?
Also, as we were walking around, I rolled a 29 on perception.
Uh-huh.
Do I see anybody trying to steal shit from us?
You don't see anybody trying to steal shit from you. Like I said, you're currently like creating this like bubble around you, Fugler and Finnegan. That there's not a lot of people like there'll be people that'll go near you to like pass by or whatnot, but there's not a like people bumping into you for any sort of reason. There is
Nobody's
people
trying
watching
to
you.
try anything.
No, there's people watching you because they sense that you guys are fairly powerful. You're fairly powerful people walking around, but they're not trying to like bother you in any way. They're just
There aren't
watching.
3 kobolds from a far off land trying to currently bother us.
No, but you do see one kobold starting to chase this blue squid as you just hear, "Hey, get back over here, get back over here."
It couldn't be.
Huh?
Is that Is that her new pet?
Maybe.
Oh no! Oh no!
You
Oh
know, I
no!
could have learned Eldritch Blast.
I will
But
actually beat your head in. Like,
but
actually.
she turns the corner before you're able to like see more of her, and she just keeps going. But you're in front of the store now. What do you guys do?
Taking a
Alrighty,
quick peek
Bayhorn.
inside, do I notice any old stock, new stock, fancy stock, interesting
Oh,
stock you've got
the
in there?
interior has been upgraded.
Oh lord.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is gonna
you
be
see
fun.
that the interior has been upgraded, even to the point where there's now a new stairway going up, and there's a second floor now.
This is gonna be
Dillard's.
fun.
It's Dillard's.
Oh lord.
But you do see around like there is new cases. Like there's new cases where they are locked up and there's things behind glass. Um, there is you see a automaton just walking around wiping down cases and other things. You also see at the front desk, you don't see Thistlewing, but you do see two new faces that you haven't seen before. You see a human with like a very lanky frame with some sharp features. You see that their jawline is pretty sharp. Their collarbones also very sharp. Um, you see that their fingers are kind of ink stained, um, like like almost like pure black, but they're not leaving any stain marks as he's like passing stuff around. He has dark brown hair that is kind of slightly disheveled, and he's wearing thin spectacles kind of perched on the tip of his nose, and his robes are patched down and covered, and you can easily tell that it's a magical robe because they're faintly glowing with runes all over the robe. You also see another person. You see what looks to be an elf or possibly a half elf. Um, Silvery hair cascading down her back. Very vibrant green eyes. She has this like warm, welcoming smile as she smiles over to you guys, and she waves her hands, and she continues to help another customer that she's helping out with on the table. Um, she is dressed in like a very elegant, yet practical dress, with some embroidery that is currently like revolving around her. And just for a moment, you can tell that her dress is slowly shifting as like you see like bits of starlight and constellations like pass by, and then you blink, and then it stays still once again. Like there's like this weird enchantment going around that is like faking out her dress a little bit.
Weird. Huh.
But you hear this
Uh,
chitter chatter of people just like walking around, like, "Oh, did you see this? Like, oh, I can't believe Thistleway got this." And there's a lot of people in this shop again.
Fugler's going to cast a message to Bayhorn. Seems like the old bastard's been doing much more well than I had hoped.
Oh, we can change that.
I wonder what made him so rich.
Bayhorn's gonna just analyze the whole store. Does he notice any security measures, or if it's a similar setup to the other lady that
Uh,
had the entire store be a mimic?
Roll me a investigation or Arcana check.
Fucking hate this.
I
Fuck.
so
14
14.
to investigation.
It looks fairly the same. You can't really tell any like upgrades or differences. I mean, the weapon cases are a new touch. You see that they all have locks. You can't exactly tell if they're magical from the distance because you guys are currently like at the front entrance. Um, and it seems like he even expanded the size a little bit. Like you can tell from the front entrance to the very back of the room is a little bit bigger now. It seems like he definitely expanded
Lord.
within the last few months.
Alright, let's see. Usually when people strike it rich this easily, they have something that they've donned their signature on, their specialty, you know what I mean? Their biscuits and gravy,
Yeah.
their own little pizzazz that they like to sell. What is the specialty here? What's the big peacock feather here that is might be eye-catching, if I might ask?
Okay. So what?
Because
Yeah, I understand what you mean. So, Arcane Oddities. You know that the name has to mean something. So you assume it's rare, unconventional, and particular magical items. You do see in some of the weapon cases and some of the non-weapon cases items that people are holding, they're very weird items. They're not the traditional like come get your magical items here at this store for new adventurers or hey, come get these high level equipment for old veteran adventurers. This is just a hodgepodge of yeah, there's common stuff. Yeah, there's very rare stuff, but it's all weird. There's very weird stuff in here too.
Huh.
You think he has a bag of fuck ups?
No, I don't. I think more likely he has people who give him stuff, so the bag of fuck ups exists. Um. Hmm.
I wonder. You ever tried to
Okay.
focus on a particular place for the bag of fuck ups?
Not exactly. No. No. I'll have to do it once we're out of here. But Fukler's gonna start making his way towards the entrance to try and go in.
Okay. Um, you do make your way in, and as you push in, you hear the crescendo of people talking, as there's so many people excited, um, eccentric, as they're looking at all these different magical items and equipment just abound on these different tables. Um, as you currently walk in, you see at the front table the gentleman is currently helping someone out, but the lady is finished up and she kind of hops off her chair. She's actually a little bit taller than you expected. She's probably sitting at about um, 5'11", maybe 6 foot. She's not wearing heels at all. She kind of like makes her way over to you, Fukler, and she says, "Hello, welcome to Arcane Oddities. Um, my name is Syra. How may I help you?"
Hi, I'm a returning customer, let's call it. I'm just trying to see. It's been a while since I've been to the Radiant Citadel. I'm trying to see what's new, if that makes any sense.
Oh, well, Sir Thistlewick has definitely expanded his repertoire as of late. What do you have in mind? Do you just want to look at everything? Do you want to look at some particular things?
Well, hmm,
Ask her why. What brought the change along?
well, last time I was here, Thistlewick himself was manning the counter and trying to price gouge us. So I'm quite curious as to what brought all this business.
Oh, well, Thistlewick has been always a hard-headed man. Well, all this business has been happening due to a large, I guess you could say, influx of magical items that we've been acquiring recently. We buy, we sell, we pawn. Um, but recently, Thistlewick and, um, I don't exactly know all the business details, but I know Thistlewick came into contact with quite a large haul of different equipments and magical items that he said that his friends in a magical gathering party had found and brought back and sold it to him for a large lump sum. Other than that,
Hmm.
that's all I really know. He hired me just before the transition required and just before the expansion came in. So I've only been here for about, I would say, 2.5 months at this point.
Hmm. So it's only been 2.5 months since this store has expanded to such a state. There's even a second story now.
Yes. And we also have that gentleman over there, Darian. Um, he is a arcane historian um, and resident scribe of the Radiant Citadel. Um, he is very proficient in all things arcana and history. It's like he can identify magical items without using any type of magic. It's very unique. Um, my specialties, salesperson, and she kind of like gives you like a little bit of a curtsy. And I also am specialized in charms and equipment. Um, so if you needed any enchantment done, or if you wanted to know any charm spells or any other enchantments, you can ask me. If you want more of a general lay of the land of a magical item, then I would take you over to Darien. As you're looking at her, roll me a quick perception.
Quick perception,
Yes, a quick perception check.
please. 14.
Okay, as a 14, you see that on her wrist, as she's like curtsying to you, she's talking to you. She does a lot of hand movements. You can tell that she's very skilled at talking to people.
Yeah.
She around her right wrist, she carries some sort of like magical locket, and you can see that it has like this weird magical aura around it, even with your eyes that you can tell.
Curious. So if I cast detect magic, say, this shop will probably light up like a Christmas tree, but I'm gonna try and
Yes.
focus in on her wrists.
Okay.
So detect magic. Let's go.
As you detect magic on her wrists, you can tell that on her left wrist there's an invisible locket that is not able to be seen.
Gotcha.
But on her right, it's a very basic enchantment spell. It's in the easiest sense, it's a mood changer. It seems like whenever her mood changes, the locket will react. And right now, the locket is a gleaming gold.
So it's like a mood ring, kind of?
It's like a mood ring on her wrist, like as a locket.
Weird. And the invisible one has no obvious purpose?
It has no obvious purpose, but you can tell it's concealed for some reason.
Gotcha. And if I look around towards the man in the mysterious robes and sharp chin,
his whole entire robe lights up like a Christmas tree.
oh, he has several different magics with him right now?
Yes, from all varying schools of magic.
Oof, okay. Don't
You
mess
can
with
even
him.
tell that her dress is slightly magic, based off glamour magic.
Glamour magic, gotcha. Okay. So she's, in essence, a good sales representative. A people's person.
People's person.
I gotcha. Well, thank you, Miss Ma'am. And might I get your name?
Oh. Syra Moonblade.
Syra Moonblade. I'm Fukler. It's nice to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Fukler. Now, let's continue on with business. I did see, and she kind of like leans past you, and she looks over at Bayhorn and Finnegan. You
Funny
came in
thing,
with
Bayhorn
thunder,
isn't there.
It's just Finnegan.
Bayhorn is sneaky.
You turn around and all you see is Finnegan just staring at you, Fukler, and you see Bayhorn's outline, like in that anime where it's like they're just gone and you just get outline that bing bing. Yeah, it's like, where did he go?
Oh.
Yeah, you guys didn't check, but he never followed you inside.
What is he wandering, scuttling around the building outside like a crab?
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
see.
what are you doing?
You'll see.
What do you mean you'll see?
Get to Finnegan and you get me last.
You said the sharp chin gentleman was like an appraiser?
Yes, he is an appraiser.
Then I would like to test him. And Fukler has a bit of a dumbass grin on his face. Let's see if he can tell me more about this than I already know. And he takes his hammer out.
If you need to have that appraised, just go ahead and line up behind the gentleman that he's helping. And she kind of turns over to Finnegan. And how about you, sir? Do you need anything? And Finnegan's just like, well, I'm with him, but I wouldn't mind having a tour. I would be happy to give you a tour of the place.
Ooh, Finnegan with the schmooze.
Finnegan's he's free balling right now.
Exactly.
You see that Finnegan and Syra kind of walk away as Syra just says, "If you need me, just let me know." And she continues on with Finnegan, and you hear that she's talking to Finnegan about arcane oddities and who owns it, where it comes from, and they just continue on, and she shows them around the place. As you line up behind this other gentleman, as he's collecting his item, and you see he wraps it around. It's this large rapier, as he's like wrapping it up in this like leather, and he puts it inside of like this large metal briefcase, and he puts it away, and he kind of looks at you like, "Oh, sorry, excuse me," and he just passes by you. And as you are now next in line, you see Darian, this lanky frame human with these sharp features, kind of looks over you, looks you up and down, and he says, "Well, excuse me, it seems like you've caught my eye. Not in the romantic sense, but I can tell that you have just been riddled with oddities and magic. Am I wrong?"
No, no, not in the slightest. I would like to list them all to you, but I feel like that would take all day. Your friend up front said you were sorts of an appraiser.
I am.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to test that.
Test away then.
Well, and Fukler takes out his hammer. This was a gift from, let's call him a friend, a while back. It's in good condition, very good condition. I make sure to keep it in that case. And, well, if you know anything about it, I wouldn't mind hearing it at all.
Are you looking for identify or legend lore?
That's a really tough thing. What are the two other voices in my head think on this?
The two others, aka your D&D partners.
Yes. What are the two other voices in my head think I should do?
Depends on if he's gonna charge you or not.
This is true. This is true. Does he look like the scroungy type, Adrian?
Roll me an insight check.
Oh lord. A natural one.
A natural one.
Natural one.
He's very inconspicuous. He looks perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yes, the
You can't-
man with magic pouring out of
Yeah.
him looks
Yeah.
completely normal. Yep.
Yeah, completely normal, conspicuous, just another run-of-the-mill Joe.
Okay. If he does charge me, I'm just gonna fucking ask him. Will this appraisal cost me anything, if I do have to ask? I'm mostly looking for information on this weapon.
Sadly, friend, you are in a store, and everything in the store typically has its price. An identify would cost you about 75 gold pieces. Legend lore is a little bit more top of the line. It's about 700 gold pieces.
Wow! Okie dokie, I can just get Kayasaya to do Legend Lore. Holy shit! Okay. Wow. Oof.
But
I was not expecting.
he kind of looks you up and down. You do have a lot of interesting artifacts that I can sniff on you. How about this? I give you this one for free. If you're willing to, I don't know, allow me to snoop around that haversack of yours.
The haversack?
Ooh, he wants to look at your stuff.
No.
I'm always
What?
on the hunt for new knowledge and new artifacts. I'm not going to take anything. I'm just a seeker of magic.
Which haversack? Does he want my bag of fuck ups, or does he want my backpack full of beans?
He looks at your bag of fuck ups.
Uh-oh. Does Fukler notice this?
What was your insight?
Oh fuck. It was a natural
Nope.
one, Adrian.
You do not notice this.
It was a natural. Can I re-roll? Can I use my lucky on
You
it,
can
please?
use some lucky if you want.
Please, I need. look, this is important. If this man can recreate the bag of fuck ups, I want to know. Alright, so a 17 to insight.
17 insight. Okay.
Alright.
You can tell with the 17 to insight, you can tell that he is a very meticulous, bookish individual. He has this aura of around him that approaches magic with a scholar's precision. So you can tell that he is a learned person. He learned a lot. You're not too sure from where. And it's odd. Beyond his very sharp, regal demeanor, you can kind of tell there's an inkling of quirkiness behind him. Like, yeah, he looks like he's aura farming, but he could easily switch
Aura
that off.
farming.
He's mogging me,
He's
but I can
mogging you
tell
at
it's
the
a
moment.
fake Mew.
Yeah.
Fake Mew.
Oh, the brain rot is real in 2025.
God, dude.
Holy shit! I guess the brain rot's coming with me to 2025, dude. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Okay, well, if this guy is... So you're saying you would give me a legend lore, or an identifier, one of the two, if you wanted to look at my bag.
Sounds like an easy deal for you, is it not?
Well, I have a couple things to tell you, but first, let's do the legend lore. Or whichever one you want. I'm not too picky.
Let's start with your hammer, the bigger of the two. Place it down on the table, please.
And Fuku will do just that.
As you place it down on the table, he kind of looks over it. He looks at all the skulls, and you hear him whisper, "Hello, York. How are you doing today?"
Yo, what?
He takes off his glasses that are perched on his nose, and immediately you can tell that the glasses were glamour magic because now his left eye has turned into this odd golden with a purple iris eyeball.
Wait.
And you see as he's looking at the whole entire hammer, you see that the eyeball activates and you hear some whirring, and the eyeball like shoots this purple beam and it starts to scan the hammer visually up and down before it stops, and you see him kind of recoil a little bit, and he puts the glasses back on to hide the eyeball. You said a friend gave you this, correct?
Very, very gracious friend, yes. Fuku has a shit-eating grin on his face.
Well,
He's testing this razor.
Me being employed with Sir Thistlewick does not interfere with my current interests. And my current interests are whatever the hell you've got going on in this hammer.
Let's call it a trade secret. But I have a couple other things that'll interest you. Since you did me, well, if you want to do the legend lore for me, I'll let you get an extra look at something else as well.
I've already done it.
You've already done the legend lore?
Did you not see what I did with my eye?
I thought you just did the, what's it called?
Identify?
Yes.
I was a little bit more curious, so I bumped up the spell free of charge. It's not really free of charge, it's my own volition. The eye is my own personal thing. Magic is where Thistlewick pays me. This is... When I say a friend gave you this, I would like to assume this is a heirloom or a family project passed down, or you have stolen this off of a royal or some sort of godly presence.
I'm a paladin myself. I could not have stolen this.
I know plenty
Very
of paladins who
nice.
have broken their oath.
Well, haven't done that yet, fingers crossed. A very gracious friend gave this to me. But, like I said, I have a couple other things that I wish to show you.
Would you
And
like to know about your hammer first?
Well, yes, he gave it to me, but he gave me minimal explanations. I know what it does, and I have the gist of how it works, but if you can give me a bit more information as far as the legend lore goes, that would be extremely helpful.
Well, from what I can tell by this legend lore, it is very interesting. It, this obsidian warhammer that you have here, I can tell that it has states, as in states of power. And currently, you're currently sitting somewhere in the middle, leaning towards the edge of greatness. This hammer, did you name it personally, or was it named before you got it?
Well,
Be- because I can tell that there's two different names conflicting it.
I like to call it responsibility, but I don't quite know the name it had beforehand.
Well, the name that I can tell based off of it is called Death Warden's Gavel.
Ah, yes.
But if you'd like to call it responsibility, and he gives you a small chuckle, we can name it that. I can tell that this weapon allows you to absorb creatures' life. Quite unbecoming of a paladin. You seem more of a vampire in that type of sense. You also use the souls trapped within to cause devastation. Am I correct?
In a sense, yes.
There's also something that I found hidden within.
Mm.
Something that might be yours if you continue your connection with it. There's a power waiting to be unleashed within. Cost ever so great. Thousands of souls that are trapped within need to be expended at once. But when you do, you can become an avatar of death all your own. God, I didn't realize that got him off so good.
Oh no! I was not expecting this today. Alright. 1 second. I'm gonna go briefly blow my nose. I'll be right back.
Alright. There he goes. Cedric, are you there? Cedric?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Are you there?
Yeah, I went outside, looked for food, talked to my mom, but I heard all of it.
Okay,
Or at
because
least
you have a
most of
wireless.
it. I missed like
you
the
have a-
last like 3 sentences.
Oh, well, he told him how he senses something beyond his current weapon state with the legend lore. And he said something akin to the lines of when the power is his fully, when he expends thousands of souls, he will become an avatar of death as well.
We're gonna have to kill him?
No, just something will happen.
Oh boy. So now what's happened?
Preston died.
Preston literally died. He started hacking up a loogie, and he went to go blow his nose and shit.
Yeah, he's gonna need it a second.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Man, are you excited to see where I've
I'm
been
back
up
and
to?
I've regained character.
Congratulations.
Huh?
Congratulations.
Thank you. And Avatar of Death. Interesting. I don't think I've quite reached there yet, but maybe soon enough.
Unless.
Now, you said you wanted to look at the bag.
I wanted to take a look at that haversack, yes.
This one's peculiar. I might warn you. Stick your hand in the wrong place in this bag and it comes out somewhere else. And you grab things from across the astral sea.
That's not the first time I stuck my hand in somewhere and I grabbed something interesting.
Huh.
You got a freaky friend there, don't you?
Shush. But I've been meaning to get this actually looked at for a while. I was wondering if there was a way to actually recreate it. Here you are.
And you put the bag down.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that the bag of fucked ups is extremely patchworked, of course. He kind of looks at it up and down. He doesn't take off his glasses, but you do see that he starts to weave some sort of puppeteer incantation around the bag itself. As you can see, like different auras of magic start to peel off of it slightly. This bag is very interesting. It acts like a bag of holding, but it's connected to all facets of the different planes of existences. It kind of reminds me of my robe, but in a sense where if you. May I reach in?
Sure. Go right ahead.
So he reaches in.
Pickham's
Give me
signed
one
a disclaimer saying that you're not at fault if his hand comes back off of his hand.
I do have to warn you, like I said, you'll be reaching across the astral sea, so I have no way of predicting what you'll be pulling out from the other side.
I'd like to. I would like to take my chances on this. But have you encountered any magical items or creatures based on this thing, or is it more of the mundane?
Really depends. So far, I've gotten a magical mask that like to turn into inky blackness and scuttle around and cause havoc. Then again, I've gotten 10,000 copper coins in a currency that's useless in most places.
Hmm.
And also, I've gotten a grappling hook. So, like I said, you could be pulling anything out.
Well, I'm excited to see where this takes me. He reaches inside the bag, and you can tell that he kind of shifts his arm around before eventually he pulls out what seems to be um, this leather necklace. As he continues pulling, you see his hand and his arm is completely soaked with water. And he pulls out what seems to be this well-worn necklace that is adorned with the bow of a ship and a crashing wave of blue glass on the very top of the necklace. Huh. Very interesting magical bag you have here. He puts it down and he starts to examine the necklace. Oh. Huh. This is an amulet of buoyancy. very uncommon item, especially in the Astral Sea. You're more able to find this sold widely available on planes of existence that have wide oceans, or the elemental plane of water, perhaps. But since this came out of your bag, it is yours. It is not my property, and he slides it over to you.
I'll gladly take it. Hmm. Like I
This.
said,
Mhm.
this bag is unique. Not only have I noticed that it pulls out items from all across the Astral Sea, but some items can be pulled back out of it from wherever they are. Like the grappling hook I was talking to you about. My friend was using it, and I decided to go ahead and put my hand in the bag and try and reach something else. I pulled the same grappling hook back out of the bag. It disappeared from him, and it reappeared in my hand.
Very interesting. So you're able to. So it's not that the bag is connected to different planes of existence. It's more of akin that the bag is connected to items, certain ones.
In a weird way, I suppose, yeah.
Huh. Can I? I'm going to have you use my eye again. And he takes off his glasses. And he starts to scan the bag once more, like the legend lore he did before. Oh. Interesting. You. What was the name of this bag that you had before? And where did you get it?
Got it in Amethyst Alley on Erisire.
Amethyst Alley on Erisire. I don't know that city or that planet. Amethyst Alley, I don't know what that is.
Amethyst Alley is the shopping place. It's in Bafford on Erisire. Or Erisire, the planet. But that's specifically where I got it. It came from some beaten down shop, and I was looking for a periapt of wound closure, I remember. But I also needed a bag of holding at the time. And so the man, uh, well, the man standing at the counter pointed to this bag being the cheapest one at the lot and said it was a bag of fuck ups, for lack of a better word, apparently. And he said he could sell it to me for 20 gold. And I bought it. Why? Is there something I should know about it?
Um, it's a little bit undemeaning to call it the bag of fuck ups. This bag, I can tell it has a name. It's called the Stitcher's bag. Specifically from a gentleman, no, not a gentleman, a gentlewoman named Alaris. The person who owned this bag before was called Alaris the Stitcher. This bag doesn't just pull items from across the cosmos willy-nilly. This bag is linked to different items that supposedly this person owned at one point in time.
Why did they own a jar of leeches?
Why did this person own a grapple hook? Why did this person own a amulet of buoyancy? Maybe they were an adventurer.
Maybe.
But it's
There,
odd.
it seems very likely since they had 10,000 copper coins in a currency I couldn't use.
Copper? The
Exactly.
last time the Resident Citadel used copper was hundreds, maybe 1,000 years ago. You have a very rare find here, my friend.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Honestly. To be honest, I thought it was a bag of holding that had just Well, I thought the holding magic in it had started to go a little haywire, and so I was starting to pull stuff out from all across the plains.
Smart assumption on your part, but typically when a bag of holding starts to lose its integrity, either physical or magical damage otherwise, all the contents just spill out in one area. It seems like whoever owned this before, this Alara person, patchworked from different planes of existence and linked those patchworks to different items across the astral sea, I suppose. And as you're currently talking to this gentleman, let's swing over to Bayhorn real quick. Bayhorn, what are you doing as you see Fukler is currently in mid conversation as he pulled his bag of fuck ups out?
Um, well, Bayhorn, like, he looked as if he saw somebody, and, like, as they were, like, walking away from him to go inside, he was like, yeah, I'll catch up, and he, like, kind of jogs away. And as he's out of sight now of, like, the windows and everybody inside, he kind of
Mm-hmm.
just, because it's a bustling street now, right? It's so much
It
more
is a
busy.
bustling street. Yeah.
He joins the crowd and goes for a stealth check to just kind of disappear.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's your self check?
A 41.
You are gone.
He will then follow the flow of the crowd to the back of the store and the sides of the store, and he's gonna stay near the edge of like the flow so he can get a better look, and eventually he'll probably drop out of the crowd, and he'll be so stealth, nobody's gonna fucking notice him, and he's gonna look around for security on the entrances that are on the sides or back of the store.
Roll me a perception or investigation check for security checking.
It's like midday, right?
It's like midday, yeah.
I don't get advantage
Yeah.
stick.
The Radiant Citadel's artificial sun is still like shining.
I got a 28.
28.
How
You can
souped up is
tell.
this security?
You can tell in the very back of the alleyway. There's a few dogs. There's a few cats running around. You do see a few people kind of walk the back alleyways to avoid the presence of the larger crowds. And since you're so stealth, it's kind of like one of those things where they pass by you, but they don't even pay attention to you. You know what I mean? It's like they don't even look at you; they just pass by you.
It's pseudo invisibility.
Yeah,
They don't even
it's
know I'm here.
you're Assassin's Creeding this as you're like kind of just blending into the environment a little bit. As you're looking at the back wall, um, it has been souped up. You can tell that there's more arcane runes that have been placed all across the back wall, and even it bleeds into the sides. And you can tell that the door is gone. That original door that you saw is gone, so you're not too sure if that's illusion magic or they just removed it. But you do know with your wise thieving skills, why would they be protecting the back end of this place if it's not important? So there's got to be something here.
Any windows? Like high
Two
up?
windows at the very top, high up.
They look like they're open, like to let air in.
They're closed.
Man, how hard is it gonna be to get up there?
Uh,
Is the alleyway like, is it wide enough for me to like hold myself up while I'm scaling? Like you know how they,
no, it's wider than that.
okay. How tall is the how high up is the window?
The window is probably about 30, 35 feet up.
It's pretty tall.
Yeah, it is a second story.
He's gonna look more. He's gonna look closer at the first story's like wall section. Is there any illusion magic covering up entrances or traps?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Oh, I got a dirty 20.
30, 20. Um, there is illusion magic that is currently happening here.
Can I see where?
Uh, the whole entire wall itself is like shimmering with this weird illusion magic.
Has it been a day since the whole rescuing Glenn thing?
Yeah, it's been a day. You've all had a long rest.
Like a full 24 hours?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because you rescued her, went to the holodeck to have dinner, accidentally got transported to the Sword Coast, came back, decided to fuck all of it, I'm going to bed, went to bed, and then traveled on their way here in the Hamlet and everything.
Yeah. I was
So it has
hoping
been
that
a
I'd
full
still
24 hours.
I was hoping I'd still have my knock stuff. Cause
Nope. That is
yeah, I guess
gone.
my knock stuff from like the first ever time I got it is gone too, right?
It's gone, yeah.
I didn't even use them all either.
Nope.
Man. Ass. Alright, hang
Oh, Cedric, when's your birthday again?
on. On a Sunday.
On a Sunday? What day is it again? So I can mark it on my calendar so I can give you your free crit for birthday for D&D.
It's
the 12th.
The 12th? Okay.
like
The 12th of January.
I knew it
Sunday.
was I knew it was coming up soon. I was like, is it the 11th? Is it the 12th? I knew it was one of those days.
Yeah.
I'm bad at birthdays.
Don't worry, I am too. I forget my
I'm
own
really-
birthday.
Dude, I forget my age. I'm like, how old am I? Like, I don't know. Fuck
I
it.
forget my age too, man.
Dude, okay, that's a sign of like you're getting old. Sorry.
Wow.
I already knew, dude. I've been forgetting my age since I was 16, dude.
Damn.
Age is
But yeah,
just relative.
imagine living in Texas
Unless you're
and there's
dating,
a
then
war
it's
in
very
Michigan.
relative.
Yeah, bro. Like that's how big the United States is.
Yep.
Dude, Preston, I've talked to UK folks here when we're telling them it's like, oh yeah, we went to a drive to London. They're like, oh my god, you drove to London? That's like 2.5 hours away. You must have took the whole day to do that. And I'm over here like, no,
I just
like
drove, fucker.
I just drove. Like that's not a whole day.
My
Supposedly
gas
drive-
tank gives me
so-
there in like the entire day tank of it.
Supposedly driving anywhere in the UK is a day trip. Like a full day. I'm talking like
They
a full
put
day.
radios in your cars for a reason.
We have Bluetooth speakers for a
and
reason.
I'm over here thinking it's like I lived in California. That's nothing. That's
Yeah.
nothing at all.
Exactly. Texas to
Texas
Texas,
also.
18-hour drive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, a Texas
Oh man,
to
I gotta go to
Texas drive.
Texas. You live
You
there?
can
Yeah, it's a day
drive.
drive.
You can drive from the side to side of the United Kingdom 3 times in that time.
Yep. Yep.
But anyways, Bayhorn, that's what you see
Can I-
going on back here.
God damn it, my headset's gonna run out of battery.
Plug it in.
Can
Plug
I
it in right
sense?
now.
Can I sense if I mess with the magics, if something will trigger?
Yes. Something will happen if you try to mess with it at the current moment.
Do I see anybody touching the wall? Like anybody in this alleyway? Like, are they leaning against it? Are they brushing up against it?
No. But you do see what seems to be this dog kind of like pass by you a little bit. It looks like a weird mix of like a terrier and like some other like variation of dog that you don't know of. It kind of like sniffs you a bit and looks up at you and gives you like some panting noises before it like goes over to the wall and it starts to pee a little bit. And you see its leg touch the wall and suddenly the dog freezes.
It freezes?
The dog is just frozen in place now.
Do I see anything happening as a reaction to like it triggering the defense of this wall?
No. Not at the
Anybody
current
coming
moment.
to check on it? Anybody like responding to it?
How long are you willing to wait?
Like a minute or so.
A minute. After about 2 minutes, you're just like
The 8 stealth
nobody's.
check.
You're like nobody's coming. Before suddenly you hear footsteps, and you see this hulking juggernaut of a Goliath. This um this balding man, fully in loincloth, no like actual armor, just like this full barbarian kind of looks at the puppy and he just goes, "Oh, little puppy. Sorry.
Goliath?
You're not meant to touch that." And he like grabs the puppy by the sides, lifts him, and just takes him away.
Did the Goliath look familiar?
Roll me a history check.
I'm gonna keep asking this. I rolled a 17.
No, he does not look familiar.
Damn. I want to find him eventually. Is there anybody, like, especially close to the wall?
No,
Like, people?
no people.
Is there anybody still, like, in this alleyway?
There's like maybe one or two people that'll pass by you, but they like I said, you're just blending in, so they're not paying attention to
Alright,
you.
I just want to focus somebody. The next person that passes by close enough, can I try and make them touch the wall? Like, brush their hand as they walk past me and, like, push it to the wall?
Okay. At this point, Bayhorn.
What?
You see what seems to be a child kind of like start to walk past you a little bit, and they're licking some ice cream.
Not the child.
Not the child.
Not the child. I have
All right,
morals.
not the child. As you are currently sitting here and waiting, you see what seems to be this older gentleman who's currently walking on his cane, and he's holding this like bouquet of flowers.
Why are you giving me all of these sweet people?
Hey man, that child, mass murderer.
Hitler.
Hitler. He applied to art school recently.
So there's no one just like chilling in this alleyway? You said that there's like a bunch of people sleeping in the alleyways and stuff.
As far as you can tell, probably not here. You're not too sure why.
Actually, wait. Do I see any cracks in the wall? Any openings?
Which wall?
The wall that's like magically enchanted.
You don't see any magical cracks or anything on the wall. It's perfectly clean.
So there's no like openings or anything?
None.
And the door is closed, or the windows are
The
closed?
the windows are closed, and there was a door when you first came here and saw it, but that door is gone.
Can I see through it since I rolled to see the illusion magic? Can I see where the door is supposed to be?
You can't see through the illusion. You could tell that there's illusion magic, but you can't see through it. You don't have the eyes for that. You don't have true sight.
True sight. I'm gonna ask Rowan for something real fast. I'm gonna ask him if he can do something for me.
All right, what do you ask him?
I'm gonna ask him hypothetically, if I used one of those spells that you inherited from eating all that all the magical items and gifting me that one other spell, and I used it, but I needed to use it again. Would you be able to use it again?
Eh? Possibly.
What would you need to be able to use it again?
I would need a resource, a magical item, something valuable, something to give me a recharge, I guess.
Does it need to be magical, or do you also accept a little bit of life?
Could be arranged.
I have a very bad idea, Adrian.
It's up to you, brother.
And if this works, I would have been the best thief I've ever known. But I don't know if I want to do it yet. Man, where this? Adrian,
Mhm.
do magical locks still count as locks in terms of gloving of thieving?
Uh, the gloves of thievery, you mean?
Yeah. Do they still count? Do magic locks still count as locks?
Yeah, they still count as locks. It's just they have a magical effect that if you were to trigger it, something bad will happen because you'd be unleashing the spell in the magical lock. And the magical locks themselves have a higher DC to unlock normally. You know what I mean?
Can I see where the magic, like, if I can disable this time stop field?
You're not able to detect where it's coming from the outside. So that
Probably
means
inside.
it's probably inside somewhere. So what would you like to do? Would you like to make your way inside?
I guess. I don't want to
As
fuck with
you
the magic wall yet.
as you turn over to the corner and you start to see the bustling streets once again, as you turn the corner, you actually do spot with your right eye, as you spot in the corner of your vision, you see a red-headed, familiar wizard and her husband Chakna coming up to you guys as they are making their way back to the shop. Kaisai, you see Bayhorn is currently
You didn't
being
see me. I'm still stealthy.
he's being a little bit inconspicuous at the moment.
I'm going to
You
not.
don't see me.
I don't see him.
John Cena hands. You don't see me.
You don't see me.
You can't see me.
Your coin pouch feels a little lighter though.
No.
Chakna
Your coin pouch
looks at
feels a
you.
little lighter though.
No. Because
What
that
are you
means you
doing
have
around
to
the
touch
back
my
alley?
boobs.
Hey, he's a thief. He doesn't care where your coin's in. Coin is coin. It's
If it's
like
not the
dirt.
coin pouch, I'm
Dirt is
taking
dirt.
something magical.
Dirt is dirt. But anyways, Choctail kind of looks at you and he tells you, "What are you doing around the back alley? Have you found something?"
Uh, time shit. Fucking time wizards, man.
Hey,
Oh, it seems like you need some help. You should probably ask a wizard. And he kind of points over to to Kaisaya.
No, this is locks. Magic lock. Saw a dog pee on the wall. His foot accidentally touched the wall. Dog became frozen.
time stop.
Interesting.
Fucking time
Oh,
wizards, man.
a time stop into a trap seems a little overkill, don't you think?
This place has upgraded.
Hmm,
It has 2 floors and two assistants.
interesting. Well then, we'll scout the
The
inside.
only way I can think of getting inside is if I sacrifice a little bit of life force,
Uh, hold off on that.
and I'm still
And
thinking about it.
hold on. Maybe I can find something. Or at least give you some more insight before you have to reveal. And I'll establish a telepathic link
Okay.
To the wall?
to you.
Oh, I was like,
You
we can
establish
talk
a
to the wall.
telepathy link.
I'll let you know if I kind of have anything of interest inside.
I'm trying to get inside the back door. They
I
can't see the
know.
back door because they hit it with illusion magic.
Well,
Yeah,
then
they're
I'll see if I
very
notice
secretive this
anything on the
time.
inside from the shop.
These guys are very secretive this time around.
Hmm.
Makes me wonder how they're getting all this money.
Need to find out. And I will walk inside the store.
As you walk inside the store, you see that the store has immensely upgraded since the last time you've been here. There is a second story, as he told you. The the display cases are full-on weapon cases with their own intricate locks at the front. You're not exactly too sure from this distance if they're any magical, but you assume with everything how it looks in here, they're definitely magically locked and trapped. You do see your companion Fukler is currently talking to this human with a lanky frame, sharp features, the ink-stained fingers, and like these glasses that kind of perch on the edge of his nose. You can tell that that man is currently mogging on Fukler at the moment, uh, while you see Finnegan is currently walking around, and this other assistant, this other woman with a looks like a half elf, maybe a full elf. You're not exactly too sure. Tall woman, about 6 foot tall, silver hair cascading down her back, kind of just like showing him around, and he's just nodding and looking at all the magical items. It is very busy in here.
I'm gonna just look around and see what's on display.
Okay. See what's on display. Let me go ahead and get my list out.
I'm gonna try and make sure I stand apart from Fukler and Finnegan so we don't look like we're together. To hopefully help Bayhorn find information.
Got it. So, as you start to look at all the different items, you can tell that at the front of the store, with your arcane perception, which I'm assuming I forgot what it was.
It's stupid.
Your passive investigation's 20, your passive perception 16, and your arcana is off the charts. So you can tell that the further back you go, the rarer the items start to become. Um, you see let me see here. Let me get you this list. You see in the very front, you see a few quirky magical trinkets. You see a line of boxes that all kind of look like small little chests. Um, but one of them, you see a child like touch the top of it, and immediately the chest turns into this barrel with like a line of teeth, and it's just giving the child a smile. The child starts to laugh a little bit at it. Before another child, this girl touches another chest, and the chest turns into a bouquet of flowers. But in the middle of all the flowers, you see this like this other row of teeth. So it seems like these are like weird mimic in a boxes instead of Jack in the Boxes.
Cute.
You see next to the other quirky magical trinkets, you see this marble um, that has 150 gold price on it. There's only a few of them on display, but the description says pocket plane marble. This marble creates a 10-foot pocket dimension for 1 hour.
Intriguing.
And then you see um, near the edge where it starts to get to the more functional and rarer magical items, you see this row of perfumes, and the description says captures a scent tied to a memory, allowing the user to relive it vividly for 10 minutes. 200 gold pieces.
I can do that with meditation.
As you continue moving on, you see a few more. You see a bunch of scrolls that are more functional in nature. You see, once you get to the middle of the store, it's more scholars, more adventurers are currently looking at this, while the children are looking more at the front with all the quirky items. You see here in the middle, um, you see um, this top hat, and you see like a few top hats in a row. And as you see, as this one adventurer touches it, the top hat magically turns into what seems to be a hat that would fit their clothing. So their clothing is like this very nice fitted shirt with some leather with leather padding on the front and some leather pants as well with some leather boots. Looks like they're green. They're fresh off the market to go adventure. And the top hat suddenly turns into what looks to be this very nice leather, almost like a cowboy hat, just to help like protect the sun and shade for him. It states Hat of many spells. Stores up to 3 first level spells and it recharges daily.
Hmm.
1,000 gold pieces.
That's overpriced.
You see another item. You see a bow um, that is hanging off the wall. There's only one bow in here. Price 2,000 gold pieces. It's called Energy Bow. Conjures arrows of pure energy. Can shift its damage type once a day.
Hmm.
And then you see another item next to it. It's called there's a lute. It's called the Lute of Thunder. Produces sound waves dealing thunder damage in a 10-foot radius once per short rest. Price is 800 gold pieces.
Oh, that's overly priced.
You see, as you continue on, you see curiosities, you see potions, you see enchantments. Um, is there anything you would like to look at particular as we keep going?
Um, I'm gonna continue to feign like window shopping,
Okay.
and while I do that, I'm gonna try and notice or see if there's anything that could help me give useful information to Bayhorn.
Got it. Roll me an Arcana check, please.
31.
31. As you're currently passing by and window shopping, the further down you get, the less you start to notice of what you're looking for. Up until you're at the very back of the shop, where these legendary artifacts that are currently like staring you at your face. Let me see here. You see um different weapons, stabs, armors, cloaks that are just lined up on armor stands and different weapon cases, and you can tell that these are extremely extremely powerful artifacts, and their prices are way more exorbitant. Some of these prices for some of these things can hit up to 100,000 gold pieces. You see a Vorpal sword. You see a Staff of the Magi. You see several cloaks of invisibility. You do see um, this belt, this huge giant belt that has like a symbol of a storm cloud and lightning coming through it, so you can tell that's a storm of giant strength. These are extremely legendary and hard to find and very valuable artifacts and weaponry. But as you pass by the desk, which now you're behind the desk at this point, as you're looking at all these magical artifacts, where Fukler is talking to, where he's talking to the gentleman in front of him, um, you see that behind, like right in front of the gentleman's like knee, you see like this button that is glowing with like this very like intense arcanic energy, and you're able to follow that arcana energy, and you follow a trace path as the button is linked to 2 other buttons, one on the first floor that you're on, that is at the very front of the door. There is an arcane rune that is sitting there that even when people pass by and touch it, it doesn't activate. It seems like there has to be a sequence of activation. And there's another arcane rune that is linked to that one in the second floor, right now where Finnegan is currently standing as he's getting a tour from around the place. So you assume that something would happen if you would press a button and immediately press the 2 other arcane runes. Something might happen to the shop. You're not too sure
The shop
what,
would explode.
but something would happen.
I will relay all this information to Bayhorn.
You relay it to Bayhorn.
And I will continue looking.
Okay. Bayhorn, you learned this information from Kayasaya, that there's a specific button in front of this gentleman that Fukler's talking to, and 2 other arcane runes. Bayhorn?
My fucking mic get muted again.
No.
I didn't say much. It's okay.
Okay. Oh,
So I
sorry
can't.
to.
So I can't
Sorry.
fuck with the door.
I mean, you can't fuck with the door at the moment, but you do know what Kayasaya sent you. You don't know everything that happens on a good roll or two. You gotta figure it out.
That's true.
But I'm hopefully giving you some information you can piece together. But anyway, I will continue with my walkabout to the door.
Okay. Chakna follows behind you by a few feet as he's also purveying and window shopping. So, Bayhorn, what would you like to do, unless you wish to hand it off to Fukler, as he's currently talking to Darian?
I'll let Fukru keep on talking to him.
Okay. Fugler, as we reconvene back to you, Darian is currently talking to you about how the bag works, how it's interlinked. Is there anything you would like to add or have him inspect on your body, or what would you like to do with him?
He's a man of knowledge, yes.
He is very astute. When Syra told you that Darian is a resident scribe and arcane historian, she means it.
Okay.
And it's weird. Every time he's like looking at different items, he kind of talks to them, like inanimate objects, and he gives them names. He's a little bit quirky.
Little silly guy.
It's like I talk to my skeleton that I have on my lazy boy. I call him York. Shelby knows. He's wearing my Steelers jersey right now.
Yep.
He's just a fun little guy.
I'm checking something real quick. Hold on.
Take your time. Take your time. You do notice that Kaisai and Chakna have entered the building, by the way. Also, sorry to interrupt some D&D. President Joe Biden has did something positive for once in a long time. He gave Bill Nye the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Bill.
Hold on.
You're losing the bit, Shelby. The longer it takes. There it is.
Funny.
I'm
gonna pull out the Book of Exalted D.
Oh my god!
I want to see this man's eyes pop out of his head. Plus, I want to legend lore it. I know about it. I want to know where it's been, because I knew who had it. Cars had it, right? Or Cars.
Kaz.
Kaz. Not Cars. Cars is the JoJo villain. Kaz. Kaz had the book for a hot minute, and he also had the Book of Evil. So there's a bit of a misconstituous time gap between when it came into possession of Aqua and when Kaz had it. And I kind of want to know what happened in between there if it's not in the book.
Fair.
So I'm gonna get this man to take a little look at it, and if he's willing, do another legend lore. I'm kind of. Actually, no, hold on. I have an idea. I'm gonna pull out the cubic gate.
Oh my. Okay.
I'm gonna get this man to explain to me how it works.
Sure. Got it.
I'm dying. Help.
All right. So you want the cubic gate instead?
Yes.
All
The
right.
book will come after if I'm feeling like it. The cubic gate. Fugler pulls it out of his bag, and with the blank side sitting up, he looks him in the eyes and says, another gracious friend gave this to me. I have a vague idea of how it works, but I'm currently lacking a lot of information on this.
He kind of like looks at it, and his mouth kind of like opens slightly agape, and he says, "You know, with all these friends that you have, I might be so inclined to become one of your friends because you've brought quite an interesting haul into these walls. Well, I don't exactly have to use legend lore to tell you what this is. This is, as you might know, is called a cubic gate. Each side pertains to a different plane of existence. I could already tell that you've haven't used this in a while, or haven't used it yet.
I personally haven't used it yet, but that old wizard friend, you hear a slight cackle off in the very far distance,
Yes.
Gave it to me as a memento of sorts. He's a very treasured, wise old man, and he gave it to me without explaining what for or why. I don't even know how it works.
Well, how it works. If you press a side of the cubic gate and he presses it once, nothing happens. But you see a glow happen on one of the sides, and he pressed the side for Elysium. And then after he lets it go, about 5 seconds pass and the glow dissipates. If you press it once, nothing happens. It allows it to, if somehow you were to drop this artifact, it would cause nothing to happen. However, if I were to have pressed it twice, it would cause a shift in the plane that where you're standing, and it will open a gate, and all the creatures within a 5 to 6 foot radius around you would be pulled in and taken to the plane that it's linked to.
Okay.
I know some of these images of these planes. Do you know them?
As far as I do, one of them's Elysium, one of them's Gehenna, one of them's Mechanus, one of them's Infinite, or the Abyss, rather. One of them's Archon, Acheron, actually, and then I think the last side is blank.
I do notice that one side is blank, so that means you have one side where you're able to do whatever you want with it. You can leave it blank, or you can inscribe the sigil of the plane that you wish to keep on here, as long as you use material from that plane.
Okay. So I have to use material from the plane of which I'm on to go back to that plane if I travel to a different one.
Exactly.
So let's say I wanted to erase one of the sides. Would I have to take it to a master artificer?
You could take it to a master artificer, or you can dispel the magic within the cube entirely, resetting all sides.
So I'm assuming to get one side done, it would cost me a very pretty penny.
It would.
Oof.
It's some very strong magic you have within this cube.
It's a good thing you got a master artificer.
It's a good thing I got Chakna. It'll take him a while, but he could probably do it after a really, really, really long time. But he could probably do it, maybe, sort of.
Maybe, kind of.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, please.
Maybe.
Probably, maybe. And
If you were to press it 3 times, it would cause everyone around you in a 10-foot radius to be sundered to the plane that you pressed. So press it twice if you're traveling, 3 times if you need a quick getaway.
Gotcha. That's actually extremely helpful.
I am welcome and pleased to serve.
Well, this is more because I have recently come into possession of this. Do you happen to have historical knowledge on some artifacts?
I do have some historical knowledge on some artifacts. Which artifacts are you pertaining to?
Well, and Fugler's gonna reach into his bag once more and pull out the Book of Exalted Deeds.
You see him kind of like have his mouth slightly open, and you see him pitch like his teeth to the bottom of his lip a little bit, like he's engrossed in what he's seeing. He immediately pushes the book back to you, and he tells you to put it inside your bag.
And Fugler's gonna be like slightly confused as to why. What for?
Do you realize that even the noblest of paladins would be willing to do to grab such an artifact that you have just showed me?
Lightly.
Do you wish for a private lesson?
Well, I'm more curious because I know the time span in which it was held. It was held by Kaz, the
Kaz.
well, Kaz the Destroyer a long time ago. But it was held by Queen Aqua of Erisire for another long period of time. And I'm wondering what happened exactly in those years. If it's not written in the book. If it is, I'll probably just find out on my own.
I would be happy to tell you a small history lesson, but not in the open. You see him like put his 2 fingers onto the top of his like head, and you feel like a burst of energy happen around him, and you see that Syra immediately turns from Finnegan, and she whispers something to Finnegan, and Syra rushes down to him, and Syra just goes, "You called me?" "Yes, I'm going to give our wonderful and esteemed customer Fugler here a private lesson. Please hold down the table for a moment." Okay, sure, that's fine. Would you like to be willing to come with me to the back room?
As long as you're not going to kidnap me. And Fugler gathers his things back up and re-equips himself, and he follows.
Follow me. And you see his giant parchment, his like patchworked robe, like just flutters in the wind past you, and he walks straight to the back. And as he's walking to the back, there's nothing but bookshelves and artifacts in front of him. Before he waves his hand to the right, and you see that the bookshelves and artifacts kind of spread and reveals an open hallway as he continues walking in, and you follow in. Kai, Saya, and Bayhorn, you both see Fugler just walk to the back, and the artifacts and the bookcases close behind him.
I'm gonna get kidnapped.
Since she's downstairs, I'm gonna go upstairs and take a look.
Okay. As you go upstairs and take a look, and you see Finnegan currently holding what seems to be a scroll in one hand, and he's leaning on his walking stick on the other. He kind of looks at you and he says, "Did you just see what just happened right now?"
Yes.
Why did he get such special treatment? Did you get
Probably,
paid?
probably because he's showing off.
A little bit.
Possibly.
No bit.
So, this place is heavily entrapped, as I've been so charismatically been talking to that lady down there.
Oh, you have
There's
information. Perfect. I will link him telepathically and tell him to share what he knows about the traps so Bayhorn can hear.
well, it seems like the items up in the front are not locked or trapped at all. They know that they get robbed by pickpocketers almost every other day. They don't lose money on them because it seems like Thistlewick is able to make them on a whim now. The more items that are centered in the middle and farther back are certainly trapped with arcane runes and locks. The farther deeper you go into the back walls, the worse the enchantment gets for the perpetrator, the thief, I guess you could say. She didn't tell me specifics of what spells, so I can't exactly tell you what types of schools they could be. But I sense a very strong urge of chronomancy near the back of the room.
Yes, the back wall has time stop cast on it.
This is the very dangerous heist that Bayhorn and Fukler are trying. Speaking of which, and he kind of like leans over. He's looking for you, Bayhorn. What are you doing?
He's still outside.
Looking around. Yeah, no, I'm outside.
Oh, Finnegan kind of looks around. He's like, "Is he still out there?"
He is.
No.
And I tap my forehead and I tap my head, kind of like to talk to him.
Telepathically, um, Finnegan talks to you, Bayhorn. Bayhorn, it's Finnegan here. What'd you find
Yeah.
outside?
Magic time wall
The
and
deeper
heavy
in.
illusion magic on the wall itself. The door is gone.
Interesting. Well, I gotta say, this place is riddled with magical artifacts. I would love to get a five-finger discount around here, but this is a very difficult place to crack. We might have to come in here after dark.
I mean,
Also,
I could do with that.
Fukler somehow weaseled his way to the back.
You know, we are both lucky in our own ways. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I'm currently going to be inside here with Kaisaya. I'm going to peruse, and if I see anything I like, I will purchase it like the upstanding citizen I am.
Well,
But
you're
if you
just
need any
bored.
help,
You gotta have some fun. Get some
I was
stuff for
about to say,
free.
I
if you
will
need any help,
say, uh,
just let me know.
do be mindful of prices, as from what I have seen, he's overcharging still.
Yeah, you don't say. That's why I'm trying to take shit instead of buying shit. Just fuck this guy.
I will then also upstairs.
Okay. As you peruse upstairs, you see more of the same from downstairs, in a different variety, as there's less more mundane trinkets and more actual usable items. Is there anything in specific you're looking for, or do you just want me to give you another list from the upstairs?
I mean, you can give me a list, but I'm only looking for very specific things, and I do not wish to buy from this man.
Okay. Well, if you want to look for the specific thing, tell me what thing it is, and I'll tell you if he has it in stock.
Amethyst lodestone.
Amethyst lodestone. Let me take a
Making a
look.
waystone.
Specifically amethyst, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. He does have an amethyst lodestone, as you can see from the very back end, or not the very back end, near like the medium spot.
How much is he charging?
The amethyst lodestone is considered a very rare, wondrous item. So he would be charging.
I'm gonna guess 60,000.
100,000 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm. Not surprised.
It seems
You
like
guys wonder
Arcane
why I robbed
Oddities.
this guy.
It seems like Arcane Oddities has definitely become the premium center of the Radiant Citadel over the last few months.
Are there
And
no
it's
other fucking stores that sell magic items? Like, goddamn, this
you
this
don't
guy's running a
Hold on.
monopoly.
Hold on.
you don't know the history.
Hold on. I'm gonna look for something else.
All right, what are you looking for?
A topaz annihilator.
A topaz annihilator.
She's trying to get broken again.
I don't know. I have a theory.
A game theory. So a topaz annihilator.
Mm-hmm.
He does not have a topaz annihilator, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is extremely interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That kind of helps me understand. I'll continue looking for basically stuff that would help Bayhorn.
Okay. As you do that, roll me an Arcana or Investigation.
I'm gonna. I don't like that. I'm gonna current shift.
Time wizards.
Time wizard.
That's better. 28.
28. Honestly, you don't see anything that catches your eye that could potentially help Bayhorn, except for that same rune that you're now passing by with Finnegan, and the rune in the front with the button that's behind the desk.
With my arcane check, can I tell if the items are actually full?
I missed
Is there-
like the last 10 seconds. I had to change the shirts. It was getting
You're fine.
very hot.
You're fine. You didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss anything.
Good.
You said that if is any of the items real?
Yeah, like, is anything that he's selling as a magic item, like, is any of them, like, not really a magic item?
So would you roll for Arcana?
28.
28.
If you want, I'll add guidance.
No, you're fine. So it seems like with all the items themselves are not real. But he has to be selling them, and they have to be real, or else why would this place be busy and bustling? It seems like the items in front are just display.
Illusion magic.
And they're not actually here. They're somewhere else, possibly entirely.
Are they where I am?
As we whiplash over to
Yeah.
Kugler, as you're taking to the back alley of this, or to the back of
You're
this
gonna get murdered.
area, you've entered into some weird demi-plane. Like you're walking into this hallway, and it takes a good 5 minutes, and you're like, this building is not this long. As you are currently walking in, you see several doors that are like passing by you. And these doors have different plates on them. One of them says armor. One of them says weaponry. One of them says potions. One of them says scrolls. These are all storage rooms for different items. Eventually, you get to the very back end as you see the gentleman in front of you starts to shift his cloak around, and he starts to reach down to his back pocket, and he pulls out the set of keys. You see Darian kind of like rummage these keys around, and he finds the correct key, and he pulls it into the front big door, and he unlocks it. And as he unlocks it, you see at the very back of this office space, you see Old Man Thistlewick.
Ha!
He's currently writing, and he's got his glasses in front of him. He's got like something in his cup. He's drinking. He's currently just writing down. He kind of goes, "Eh? Ah, Darian. What you bring along?" I brought along a very interesting and astute customer. He's got some artifacts that he has requested of me to give him insight, if you wish to say hello. And Darian steps to the side and he presents you Fukler.
We've met before.
You see, he kind of looks at
Mr.
you up and
Thistlewick.
down. You see, he looks at you. He's like, "Nope, never met you in my life."
It was a
I'm
few
killing
months
him.
ago, yes. I've changed quite a bit. I've lost an arm since then. He points to his arm. I've grown a bit. I've lost an eye. I've gained a bit more power, and he clutches his right fist with the creation magic in it. I've changed a lot since then.
You gonna threaten him?
This
Is this a
man
threat?
is the only man I would actually threaten
So-
in this
so-
game.
so
no,
Preston,
no,
Preston.
not again. I'm not falling for this trick
So
again.
Preston, I gotta ask you: is this a threat? Is this an intimidation check?
I'm not trying to intimidate this man. I am merely trying to refresh his memory.
You're intimidating him.
So, as he kind of looks you up and down, he's like, "Nope, still don't remember you." And he
Oh,
continues
God damn
writing.
it.
You changed too much. Legit, you
Well,
have changed too much.
Last time I was here, you tried to rip us off on some. I don't even remember what it was.
I think it was the gloves of thievery, ironically enough.
It was the gloves of thievery, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure, Mr. Thistlewick, you were trying to sell me and my, well, shorter friend Bayhorn the gloves of thievery. And after we had sold you some scimitars and a couple other items that we no longer needed, and to which you tried to get us to pay an exorbitantly high price for it. But that's water under the bridge. I can only suppose that your aggressive business tactics have led you to a great fortune.
I guess you can say that they have.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly changed? What? I've heard around the grapevine that you had some very, well, let's call them lucky adventurers come by and basically hand over fist hand you armor, weapons, all sorts of the likes, doodads and bobs and stuff. And you paid them a giant lump sum and set them up. Is that all?
Well, it seems like you have a good nose for guessing, but that's not all that has happened. I guess you could say I have fallen into a little bit of luck of some sort. But I guess you could just say that's the luck of the draw. And he continues writing down on his pamphlet.
I'm gonna
Well,
kill this guy.
This dude is a bastard to the core. I
fucking
can
kill him,
feel
dude.
it. Talking to him is just like leaving a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? He offers no information. He doesn't even look up from the paper while I'm trying to talk to him.
I'm ending
This
man's
dude-
life, bro.
This
He's
dude,
done for, bro.
oh my god.
Oh
Merchant
my
to
God.
the core. Merchant to the core, dude.
No, not even that, dude. Cutthroat to the core, bro.
Cutthroat
Even merchants
merchant to
have
the core,
morals
yeah.
and like standards.
Even merchants like support charities and stuff, dude. This dude seems like he would burn down a charity if it made him money. Like, you know what I mean?
This
This
guy reminds me of Wrath
Ugh.
of Modar.
Oh, he reminds you of Rathmodar?
Shelby,
Yeah.
you shut your mouth. I don't even want to think of that. That's
What?
What
evil.
did she say? What did she say?
She sent me something in DMs, and I don't even want that to be the case. If it is the case, we're boned a little bit, and I need to get out of here really fast. But
Hey man, just let me know and I'll bust in.
I might bring that up in
I see.
conversation, Shelby, if that's okay.
I see.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Yes. I
Since-
call on
since-
my man-made god friend.
Since we have a bit of an information dealer here, I might just ask him. Either him or his boss, since they're both here. But he is once again going to reach for the book. And
I
say,
don't think
no,
I show the book anymore, dude.
I don't think
yeah,
you
no.
should.
I don't.
I think you should.
And you know
like,
what? As
leave.
those voices in the back of Fukler's head are saying this, he's going to stop reaching for the book, hand hovering over his bag, and put it
You should
back.
show him a different book and play dumb.
No. I'm not gonna play dumb. I'm going to ask the Actually, did I get the information dealer's name?
Dude's Darian, didn't he? Is that his name?
Darian. Darian.
So
Darian and Syra.
Yep.
slash. I'm going to turn and look towards him. Now, Darian, about that history lesson. I am quite curious what happened to the artifact I presented you during that time.
Well, step into my office and we can talk more privately. And he continues walking over to the right, and you notice that to the left and to the right, to the left there is an office space. To the right there's an office space. But the middle is like this big office space for Thistlewick himself.
I don't trust it, dude.
I don't either.
I think they might have like divination magic.
You know, Shelby, the moment I say that word, I think I might be like attacked.
Hey,
I
man,
agree.
can't you
I'm
send message to
terrified.
us asking us for help.
Probably, but I'm in a different dimensional space. It's
Are you?
weird. I might be able to. With the comm badge, I probably would be able to, but with message, I don't know. What do you think, Adrian? Or
What
is
do I
that
think?
left
What
up
do
to
you-
me
what
to
do you-
try?
What do you think? This is up to you.
This
Yeah.
is true. This is true. I'm gonna. Well, I don't see any consequence in trying it. I'm gonna try and cast message to who's the closest? Kayasaya.
So, as you send a message to Kaisai, roll me a D100.
Oh god damn it. $74.
The message goes through.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm going to say, Kayasaya, I'm currently getting a certain book appraised. Or, not really appraised, more of a history lesson on it. I'm trying to gather more information on at least Kaz and what he did with this book. Because I know he had it at the time, but I think knowing how he lost it would help us gain a little bit more information, don't you think?
Agreed.
So I'm going to try and pry a bit of info out of this appraiser.
Good luck.
And now knowing that message has successfully gone through, once in the office, without ever saying the artifact's name, without ever saying it, He's going to ask once more. So, about this history lesson, where exactly will we be picking up on?
Well, let me take a seat and let's have a chat. He goes around to his office chair, and it's a very nice office chair, a very nice office desk. But what really strikes you is as you look up, there is scrolls upon scrolls of different languages and different scribe writings, all in black ink, as this black ink kind of just like pervades the entire room. The whole entire room smells like ink, like a printer's press almost. As the scrolls are currently writing themselves over and over and over. You're not too sure if that's coherent writing or it's just for show. But this room is strictly like a scribe's inner piece almost. He currently sits down, and you see that he's already got a bunch of paperwork in front of him, and he pushes some of his ink and paperwork aside, and he just looks at one of the chairs in front of him, and he points with his palm out for you to sit down.
Before I sit down, I'm going to do two things.
Okay.
I'm going to do the whole shebang. First, I'm going to do Divine Sense.
Okay.
Because I don't trust this place. I don't trust this place at all.
Got it.
I'm concerned as to why he's taking so long.
Same.
What'd you roll?
It's Divine Sense. He doesn't roll.
Oh, sorry, Divine Sense. Sorry. Divine Sense. Let's see here.
If all goes good, nothing should proc in here.
Yeah, nothing is procking here. You don't sense anything strong in evil.
Celestial is what I'm mostly looking for.
Or celestial at all. Yeah, you don't sense anything.
No fiends, undead.
Nothing. Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. And well, if this place is neutral, alrighty. I'm gonna put my trust in this interested little guy.
I would not. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
We will
Adrian,
come bail
I
you out if you need
swear.
it.
I swear, if this is how I lose the book, and I have to go on a long adventure to get it back, I'm gonna tweak.
Just cast
I'm
a
gonna
spell, man.
actually tweak.
I'm not
Gonna start like
So
gonna download League of Legends tweak.
No.
So as you sit down and you
I'd still like you, my friend.
do you bring the book out or no?
I'm concerned about Thistlewick's greedy nose sniffing it out.
You should call me in there. I can cast non-detection on you.
If you can figure out how to get in here.
They can lead me in there.
Alrighty. I'm gonna cast a message on Bayhorn real quick.
Alright, roll me a D100.
Woobity goo! 38.
It goes through.
It goes through?
Yes, it does.
Bayhorn, buddy, pal, friend. If you could perhaps find out where I am, that would be of great help. and or
Just request for me to be sent to wherever you are. I heard you got sent to somewhere.
well, yeah, no, it's a bit more difficult than I'd like to admit. Seeing as I'm in Thistlewake's office and in their back storage room, they might get a bit suspicious. But then again, I should be the one who's suspicious because I have valuable things.
Yes.
So,
you should just ask.
actually,
'Cause it's a very coveted artifact, and you'd like to have allies with you that you know are your allies.
yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, I'm just gonna ask him.
Just don't
So,
be an asshole about it.
no, yeah, I'm definitely not. Thanks, buddy. And Fugler cuts off the message.
Quick
Thanks,
phone
buddy.
call type
Bye.
shit.
Fugler is then going to look back at Darian. Excuse me,
Darian.
Darian.
I only know
And
this
say-
as Darius.
Well, you've raised my concerns a little bit. Would you mind if I had a friend who tagged along, just in case?
He kind of looks at you up and down.
Even the
Roll me a per-
magic about
Roll me a
this book.
persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Persuasion.
Baba Booey. 19.
19.
Yep.
You see he kind of like scratches his chin a little bit. Kind of like glides his finger across his face a little bit as well.
Even the bare magic of this book alone would attract prying eyes of paladins and clerics, like you said. So I'd rather have somebody who can, I don't know, cast non-detection magic on it. So we might be in a bit of a...
I would have just said have a friend, man. You
Well-
just revealed your intentions.
I don't want the book to be detected, dipshit.
I know. What if he can cast it for you?
I agree. If you like, I could garner some protection. If you're more comfortable with your own friend, that is fine as well.
I'm more comfortable with my compatriot, if you don't mind. He should be
Who-
able to find the entrance, just not be able to get in on his own.
Who would I be needing to summon?
Well, he should be a blue-haired, dopey-looking fellow.
You bitch.
You can't miss him when you see him.
You're an asshole.
That's odd. I didn't see any blue-haired gentlemen.
He's
come in
very
with you.
sneaky. Very sneaky.
You just
So then he would be hard to miss.
Well,
contradict.
I suppose, yes. No, yeah, I guess he would be hard to miss. Or, no, I guess he wouldn't be.
You hear him laugh.
He's going to be probably at the entrance once you go looking for him, so.
I don't need to look. Don't worry. You see, he opens up one of his office shelves, and he pulls out what seems to be a bell, and he rings it. Bayhorn and Kais, well, not Bayhorn. Bayhorn's outside. Kaisaya, you hear this like ringing coming from within the store, and a lot of people kind of like look up, kind of like suddenly. And you see the woman in the middle, like currently helping out a customer, just kind of like stand up straight, almost like in a shock formation. She kind of looks up as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you see her pull into her pocket, and she pulls out a stone, and she's currently put ear in the stone. Darian speaks out loud to you, Fugler. If you can find a blue-haired, dopey-looking gentleman,
Man,
send him
you're a bitch.
and send him on his way to my office, please. Use the express route, if you'd be so kind, so I don't have to leave my office.
The express route. I don't like how that's sounding.
And on the outside, Kaisaya, you see Syra kind of just nod her head again, and she puts the stone away, and she goes, she kind of like looks around looking for a blue-haired, dopey man. Bayhorn, what are you doing right now?
Make yourself known.
Well, I can't do anything right now to the back without getting time stopped, so
Mhm.
I'm like in the process of making my way back around inside.
Okay. So as you like enter back into the inside, you see the woman that was talking to Fukler earlier just kind of like sit up a little bit, and she rushes over towards you. She says, "Hey, you
Huh?
have blue hair and you look a bit dopey.
Uh,
Do you have a friend that's this big dragonborn, kind of muscular, a little bit handsome, got like a weird arm and an eye?"
yep, that's my friend. I'm
Okay.
gonna kick his ass.
He and my coworker Darian are a guest. They're looking for you. So come this way. And she grabs your wrist and forces you.
Ah.
She she forces you
Wait.
all the way down. There it is. She forces you to the back, and you see her kind of like take her palms together in a clapping formation, and she spreads like the air open, and you see that there's like these magical tethers within her hands. Have you ever seen like one of those like they're I forgot what they're called. They're like it's like a web game. Like there's like a huge web in her hands now, filled with arcane magic, as there's a now new blue door that opens in front of you, and she says, "Go on, step in. I can't hold this on forever."
Okay.
As you walk in, immediately you walk into what seems to be like a room that smells heavily of ink and printer press. And you see Fukler is currently sitting down on a chair in front of you, and you see in front of him is Darian in his office, a chair and desk. And you see the
Bayhorn's
door
technically
collapse behind you.
bewildered. He sees Fukler. I'm gonna kick your ass when we get outside.
I'd gladly welcome it. Right now, I'm more concentrated on this information I want.
Hey, why am I here? What's happening?
Well,
Your dopey blue-haired friend is here.
I wanted to trust you, dumbass. I trust you with your magics and stuff. So, as soon as I pull this book out, can you cast non-detection?
Where's
So
the
we
book?
couldn't. I
In
have
your
it on
bag?
my person. Yes.
Alright, Bayhorn's gonna shove his hand in his bag and cast non-detection
You
on
bastard!
it.
Yeah.
Hey
I was
man,
gonna pull it out.
it's better than taking it out and then casting it. You may as well keep it hidden.
I mean, I guess. But,
This is
and
why I'm the
Fugler starts
secret one.
pulling it out. Here it is. The Book of Exalted. He makes sure to whisper it, as for not Thistlewick's greedy Mr. Crab's ears to hear from down the hall.
You see Darian kind of leans in closely to the book and to you. This is magnificent. This tome. It you have no idea exactly how many people would kill, die, sacrifice each other for this book. Even though this book is considered holy in nature, people have done great unholy deeds to garner it. So,
Hey, Adrian.
he shakes his head. Yeah?
26 to insight. Is he gonna try and steal it or kill us?
With an insight, he's not going to do anything. He is doing this for the love of the game. He's got no check mark. He's not getting paid exorbitant for this. He's doing it because he loves artifacts. He
Alright.
completely and wholeheartedly loves magic and items and magic within the items. But he is enamored. You do see with that 26 there is like a flicker of like just take it, you know?
He's not going
Bayhorn,
to, but the intrusive
Bayhorn will
thoughts are
mirror the
there.
flicker with a hand casually resting on his sword.
Yeah. There's like a flicker of a moment where he's like, I should just take it and run. Like I can retire off of this, but he doesn't do it. There
God damn it.
there's a lot of history to this book. The base history that I know without casting any types of magic on it is I know that if you spend about a week, you can study the book. Good aligned creatures. Now, it's a little bit awkward because in everyday life, people, creatures, they all react differently to different situations. I guess you could say it's a bit of karma. If you have good karma, bad karma, no one with bad karma can read or even touch this book. Those who have good aligned intentions, once you read this book, you can gain one or several more boons. You can have greater insight into all manner of subjects, increased power when casting divine magic, even an angelic halo that will bolster the reader's radiant presence and protect them from fiends and undead will appear behind them. It is said that if any arcane spellcaster like myself, or wizards, were to read from the book, they could possibly lose a portion of their intellect. This book is meant for those that are good aligned and holy in nature. Following the reading, the tome will be transported to some other location among the plains. A place where it needs to be, where it needs to illuminate the moral outlook of others facing darkness and evil itself. And it's also reported that it's unreadable by a person who has read it before. It is entirely impossible to transcribe or reproduce the content written within the book. It's rumored to be entirely indestructible. If I were to take a dagger and stab the book right now, it would just bounce off. However, it could be rendered inert and functionally useless for a matter of years, not entirely, if it was submerged within the waters of the river. That river is known as the River Styx, and that Styx flows through Pandemonium, Abyss, Cersei, Hades, Gehenna, Nine Hells, and Acheron. The layers of the 7 lower planes. So, if you ever do go to visit one of those places, please leave the book behind, or else you face the small chance of causing this book to, I don't know, go inert for several years. There's also 2 other magical artifacts that can be gained for the user whoever reads this book. They're known as the Wards of Suffering, a pair of holy bracers, as well as the Ward of Faithfulness, a gauntlet imbued with powerful magics. Those artifacts are considered lost to time. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows if they even exist still. But I'm assuming that's not the type of history that you are here today. You are looking for a time of point of when you said Kaz the Destroyer and this queen who had it.
There should be a gap of around 500 to 700 years there. Kaz the Destroyer had it on the planet of Erisire, and it was lost after that. I don't know where it went. And then I had found it, reappeared on Erisire, and it's now in my hands.
This is.
And
May I?
one moment. You also said the Wards of Suffering and Ward of Faithfulness were lost to time as well. Was this
As
book
far
not
as-
thought to be lost to time?
This book travels between different realms of existence in search of something or someone to read from it. It transports itself to illuminate moral outlooks of others facing darkness and evil. It seems like wherever this book transports to a place in time exactly where it needs to be. It's not random. It's more, I guess you can say, a divine intervention.
From what type of divine, I do not know. Maybe it's just the divine nature, where good aligned gods or goddesses would will their power out to the multiverse, this cosmos of ours, and happen to land exactly where you found it. Because maybe one day it knew that you'd be coming along to find it.
Hmm. Then would you say the same for the Book of Vile Darkness? I have a feeling I know where that one is as well.
The Book of All Darkness, you say?
Yes.
The Book of Vile Darkness, this brother, this counterpart to the Book of Exalted Deeds, it is an artifact of uneffable wickedness. A reference work of evil authorized, edited and compiled by some of the most powerful and maleficent entities across the cosmos and possibly beyond. There, as far as I can tell, the Book of Darkness has more history behind it than the Book of Exalted Deeds. For, as sad as it is to say, in the cosmos and the multiverse beyond, there is more evil than there is good. In the beginning, it was just a single scroll, with the spellcaster's ID on it. Later, that scroll fell into the hands of several priests and priestesses who tripled its content by adding their knowledge to it. The trend continued through various faiths, clerics of different evil lying deities, up into the point where it became a tome, this Book of Vile Darkness. It's from there it was lost to time. Then somehow, a young human wizard, this aspiring man who lost everything and wished for nothing in return but vengeance and suffering on those that caused his suffering, known as Vecna, who did not just add his knowledge but transcribed the scrolls into a bound book, this Book of Vile Darkness. This book fell into the hands of worshippers of this being known as Arathanul, who made a number of copies. Only 6 perfect copies existed. The rest in some way were imperfect. At least one of those perfect copies existed on this land called Toril. Amongst its contents was a description of a being and what needed to happen so that this being could come and end the world of Toril. Many years passed by, many copies were destroyed. As far as history dictates, there's at least 2 to 3 possibly still around. 2 of them are copies, and one of them is the true Book of Vile Darkness. The copies just have inscriptions from the scribes long lost to time. But the actual book, the perfected, the original, that is the one that these evildoers and these evil beings that follow nothing but vile sickness try to look for. Sadly, if this person is still around, this Vecna, he might still have it.
I might have an idea on that. But sorry to say, but that one's a little bit confidential. That's for me to find out. I have a bit
I
of a
do not
personal vendetta.
wish. I do not wish that task even on my most hated of beings. I do not envy you. I feel sorrow.
Well, um, good lord, somebody's talking shit on me. Hmm. Well, I hope to do keep in contact with you. I was. I know you said it's impossible, but I have an idea. Legends say you can't. Well, you can copy the book down in its exactness, but it won't retain any of the magic or the boons or any of the hopeful things about it. What if, to say, oh, I copied down this information from the book, even though it's of no use to paladins or clerics anymore? I think it would still be useful to someone like you. What do you think?
I would be indebted to you if you were to somehow copy the scripture and allow me to study it. However, that is such a tall task and a tall order. I would not be mad if you were unable to do so. I would not be disappointed. I would just be I would just give you applause for trying.
Well, I've been thinking about doing it ever since I got my hands on the book. Like I said, yes, none of the magical properties would be imbued in it, but the history itself would be preserved. And I think you'd very much appreciate that.
I very much will.
Well, if that's the case, I'll make sure to keep you in mind. I'll be sending you a copy if I do, in fact, actually get this all put down into words in a tome. And, well, thank you. I, believe it or not, as many valuable items as I have on me, I don't have much money, but I do have this. And Fukler puts down the sack, or the little itty bitty sack of 500 gold pieces worth of jewelry in it on his desk.
He looks at the jewelry bag. You know, for the two legend lores and the insight of a private lesson, I should be charging you at least triple.
I know.
But you have given me quite wonderful insight and the, I guess you could say, the honor seeing such wonderful artifacts up close. I'll take your gold, or at least your gems for gold value. Let me give you something in return. And you see he raises his hand up to the sky, and a scroll starts to peel down from the air, and he takes a bit of it and rips it almost perfectly off the edge of it. And you see at the tip of his finger where the black inkiness stains his hands, he writes in a perfect ink his name and what seems to be a symbol of a quill tip striking paper with a little bit of a scribble underneath of it, signifying that's his signature. And he hands it and he slides it over to you.
And,
Think of it as a business card.
well, I do have a couple people in mind in the future that I wouldn't mind you meeting. a couple more, well, let's say, magical artifact enjoyers. I'm starting to build up something of a book club.
Well, call me if the need arises.
And I'll make sure to. You wouldn't
Is that-
happen to be selling a quill in this uh, a quill in this magic shop, would you?
I have plenty of quills you can take for free, my friend. And he opens up one of his drawers, and you hear the clattering of like dozens of quills, and he picks one up and he hands one over to you.
And Fukler will gladly take it.
It's a magical quill. You'll never run out of non-standard magical ink.
Good. Sounds like it'll be just what I need. Again, thank you, and Fukler's making his way out the door.
Of course. Do you need the express way out, or do you want to take the scenic route?
We'll take the scenic route. What do you think, Bayhorn?
Whatever you want, pal.
Let's take the scenic route.
Oh, before
There's
you
a way
leave,
on the way out.
you there, blue-haired man. I don't know your name. My name is Darian.
Name's Bayhorn. I don't know if he's introduced me or not.
He has not. But do you have any magical artifacts that you wish me to transcribe for you?
Katana.
From what it sounds like, you're charging a pretty penny for this stuff.
Your katana.
I am, but from what he's done today to invigorate my love for the arcane, I can give you at least one on the house.
You both get a
Alright.
free fucking legend lore and shit.
Bayhorn had rolled a perception check in the middle of like their whole little history lesson discussion. Rolled a 30. Any
Yeah.
prying eyes, any ears that shouldn't be listening in.
You do see that there is an arcane eye in the back left corner of the room. It's more of a security measure.
So it wasn't just summoned, it was always there.
It was always there.
Alright. I was gonna dispel that or attempt to dispel it, but if it's there for security, out of respect for this place, I won't fuck with it. Because it is, regrettably, a very nice place now. Even if they are price gouging the shit out of people. Bayhorn will consider Darian's offer, and he will eventually offer up his katana. As he's pulling it out of its scabbard, he will will it back into a dagger form for an easier inspection. At least initial inspection.
He kind of looks at the dagger and he says, Apollo Morales weapon. Interesting.
Do I know what that is?
He basically says, like, in terms of, like, it's a weapon that can change its form.
Oh, I have 2 of those.
It's also slightly rare, depending on who is adventuring and who has what. However, he does point with his palm open to the ground, or not to the ground, to the table itself.
Is he
And
gesturing me to put it down?
He is gesturing for you to put it down.
You want it in this form or the other form?
Doesn't matter which. Should be able to read it with no issue.
He'll change it back to its katana form since he uses it regularly.
You're gonna change it back to your katana form?
Did the scabbard come with it, or did I make that along the way?
The scabbard came with it.
Alright, he'll set the scabbard down alongside it then.
Okay. So, as you put down your lightning serpent, he pulls down his glasses one more time, and you see that what Suku's seen before, that gold and purple eyeball within his head starts to scan your dagger back and forth. And after like about a minute or so, the legend lore passes, and he states, "And where did you get this artifact? Not from that same friend that your partner was saying was, right?"
A friend, Bayhorn will simply answer.
A friend. Right.
Got a lot of
Well,
friends.
this
Yeah.
friend must care about you a lot, or at least at the very least, is very proud or confident in your abilities for combat.
Let's just say I'm something of an investment for him. He's curious to
This.
see what I do.
Have you had legend lore been cast upon this blade before?
I don't remember if Kayasaya has casted on me, Adrian. Has she? I can't remember if I've had anything other than like the classic identify. Just to
I
kick
You've
it
had a
out.
don't
you've had a
think so.
you've had identify, but I don't think Kaiosai's ever did legend lore for you or
She's
anybody
cast legend lore on myself, I think.
on
Or
you.
asked me to, but not the sword.
Kaisai,
On
do
you.
remember casting it on the sword?
I think I did.
I don't remember it.
The only time I could ever remember her doing that is back around the time where we were messing around in Ziktomi's area.
Yeah. No, she did. However, that was when it was in its base state.
Mm-hmm.
So not recently.
Not
Mm-mm.
recently.
I'll just say no for simplicity's sake.
He kind of looks
I'll
at
just say
it.
no, not recently. I don't believe.
Understood. I can tell it's about the same form of power as your friends over there. You are stepping closer and closer to its final evolution, I guess you could say. From what I can tell, the more you use this blade, and the more the person gains power, confidence, themselves. It's a weird way of saying it. But that's what calls to me when I use legend lore. The power grows within the blade as well as the power grows within the user. So is that hammer of his. This friend must be some sort of a forger or some sort of great man with riches beyond knowing so what to do with it, because I do not understand how anybody would be able to craft such weapons like these.
This
He
weapon.
probably has connections.
This weapon is called the Lightning Serpent, as far as I can tell. It has an exalted state. Its exalted state is known as Stormbringer.
That's one of the names I know it as.
This blade is, as far as I can tell, it was forged in an ancient forge of a thunder dragon. This thunder dragon held it hidden and deep within some sort of mountains. I can't exactly tell. It might be Toro. The forge was built around a colossal statue of said dragon, believed to be the earthly manifestation of a storm god. It is said that only the greatest smiths, guided by this spirit of this dragon, can create a weapon such as this. The serpent, this blade, was not wished or created out of thin air. It was legitimately forged. Which is odd because the hammer that your friend over there is slightly the opposite.
Huh?
I didn't want to tell you to ponder any questions on you, Fugler, but It seems like since you've shared with me great things, I will share with you a little bit extra about your hammer. Your hammer, from what I can tell by my legend lore, especially in the state that it is now, it is not forged. It was just manifested. This blade, with Bayhorn's possession, this blade was forged, not created out of thin air like your hammer. This lightning serpent was created by a master blacksmith. I'm not too sure of the name. The legend lore still clouds and hides things, especially since this is not its final shape. It is not its final form.
You get any more info about the snake part of it? And he's gonna watch his face really carefully.
Raiko.
This sounds familiar to me, yes?
There is a sentient serpent within this blade. Its name is Raiko, the lightning serpent.
About as big as a world serpent, you'd say?
I cannot tell the size. I just know its name.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
speaks in a tone of voice. I can hear it. It sounds like it's echoing to me. When this weapon becomes its final form, when it turns exalted, it will become the Stormbringer. The blade will lengthen slightly again. It's already done so before. Almost an ethereal quality, and it'll crackle with arcs of lightning. The serpent etched on the blade as he takes it out of its sheath and he holds it within the light. The serpent will animate. More of an aesthetic choice. The abilities on this thing will be wonderful to an assassin or a fighter.
Huh?
我暈咗未啊？Did you pass out
From what?
from hunger?
Not yet.
Okay. 有食雲吞啊
No?
？Yeah. 啊，佢爹哋要煮，我包好咗啦。
Oh,
I made all the wonton. He has to cook it.
okay.
Maybe in half an hour.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay, in half an hour we will take our break.
So, Cedric, did you pass out from hunger?
No, I can't say I did. Bayhorn's like he's holding it up, and I can see the blade too, right?
Yeah, you can see the blade. You can see that the serpent design and the cloud formations are not animating. They're just perfectly sheening on the light.
Alright. How much more has animate or has been what's the word? I guess inscribed into it since the last time. Because last time it
Nothing.
was just barely.
Nothing on the blade. However, he flips it over, and on the pommel, there's a small sapphire starting to grow from the pommel.
You said this weapon grows the stronger its wielder gets.
The stronger the wielder gets, the stronger this weapon will grow. Eventually, it'll hit a tipping point where it'll be fully exalted. From there, it could potentially grow even further beyond its normal power. But with my legend lore, even I can't tell. This weapon, both your weapons, have been protected by something celestial. I cannot understand it.
Yeah, that checks out. I've
Yep.
talked to that damn snake as well. Told me about the same as you, so I guess I just need to keep going at it. It's a good thing I have an affinity for lightning, as Bayhorn flexes like a half shocking grasp, just out of entertainment
Oh, man.
before like snapping it out of existence.
More than just an affinity. You have some sort of master around lightning and the element around it. I've told you all I can about your blade. Your blade has more background lore to it than the gavel that he has. His weapon seems like it was created out of thin air, suited for him, not for anyone else. Your weapon seems like it was suited for anyone who can master the lightning.
Man, you're sounding an awful lot of like that snake.
Bayhorn is Thor confirmed.
Bayhorn is Thor. I'm not Thor. I don't have a hammer.
You got a lightning.
I sorry. He kind of like holds his like fingers up to his forehead. All this knowledge has been insightful, but also very tiring. If you come across any more of these artifacts, or any more virtues or items that you wish for me to identify, I know legend lore is a spell that many wizards, sorcerers, and other beings can cast, but they don't have the magical link that I have. I live and breathe magical artifacts. I love the history behind the magics. That is my specialty.
Everyone's gonna look at. He's gonna look at Fukler real hard. He's gonna be thinking real hard.
Well,
So I have this book.
oh no.
Which, what? Oh, you have another book for me?
No!
He already has the Book of Exalted Deeds.
No,
What
no,
else
no,
can I
not
do
not
here?
that kind of book. Not that kind of book.
I will hurt you.
What book is it?
Shelby wants that book so bad, dude.
It's
Shelby's
not that book,
fiending
no.
for that book.
Okay. Okay.
It's not
I
that
like
book. I
how
mean, I
I
could
like
give
how
it
he's,
to him.
I like
Please
how he says,
don't!
I like how he says book, but everybody's like, it's that one particular book. Do you realize how many books Bayhorn has in his
I have
pocket?
so many books, dude.
Actually, no,
There's
I
so
do
many
not know.
books.
I
There's so many
actually,
books.
have
I actually don't know.
2. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Why do you
12,
have more
13,
than 11?
14. I have that Grimoire 15. I used to have the other one 16.
Why do you have
I have
so
15 books
many?
right now.
He has so many
17
books.
if you count the one that I get when I transform into a white mage.
Why do you have so many?
Bayhorn's a librarian now, dude.
That's
Or he
my
would have
job.
been if Kyrian wasn't a bitch.
You also wanted
Anyway,
to spend the rest
Bayhorn
of your
will
life
kind of.
donating.
Bayhorn's gonna. Is the door open to his office?
The door is not open. The Fugler has not opened the door yet.
Bayhorn's gonna like crack the door open and look outside. Does he notice
see
anything?
this? You see Thistlewick in his desk still writing. He's whistling a tune.
So with the 21, I don't see anything prying.
Not anything prying, no.
He's gonna softly close the door because he's a sneaky snake and he can do that. And he's gonna come back to the desk and say, "So," and he'll pull out the emerald green druidic tome
Oh.
and set it on the desk.
Got it.
So I have this book, and I've surmised that this thing is priceless if you find the right druid. Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Does he know? Does he look any certain way, or does he not really know because he's not probably not a druid?
You do see his eyebrows being raised.
Bayhorn is he puts the book down to where like it's upside down for Bayhorn instead of Darian, but he's still holding the book.
Okay.
Like he's just holding it on the table, like showing him.
Got it.
You know anything about this book?
Emerald green. A codex. An emerald codex. That's why I surmise and what I can assume of the magics that are seeping off of it. Druidic in nature. Is that correct?
It's written in Druidic too. I don't know if you know the language or not. Usually only Druids know it.
I take a little bit of elementary classes in Druidic, but I could always cast Comprehend Languages to read it.
I mean, if you want, it's got some cool stuff in it, but I'm more interested in where this thing originated from.
Adrian,
What it's
have I
supposed
ever
to
mentioned
do.
how I love kooky wizards? Like, just the amount of kooky wizards that are here. First, my boy Felinor, rest in peace wherever he is. And
He's
now
dead.
this dude,
Now this dude.
Darian,
Darian,
my favorite little scribe, my favorite.
Darylore.
I'm actually liking this dude a lot.
Good.
Dying.
So, the Emerald Codex, this seems to be... If you'd let me hold it and look within, I can tell if it's a copy.
Sure. And he'll slide it over.
As you slide it over, he'll grab both the sides, and he flips it to the back, where he can see the spine of the book. And he runs his inky fingers along the backside, and you see the back starts to turn into that same inky black before it starts to evaporate, and you see his eyes glow, and then it disappears. He slides the book back over to you. This Emerald Codex seems to be a copy of the original. Same power, same teachings in nature, but it is not the original. The Emerald Codex, from what I've learned, belonged to a god named Sylvanus on the land known as Toro. From there, I'm not exactly too sure where the first edition, the original, is at. This seems to be a copy that has been passed around many different druidic legacies, bloodlines, and eventually found its way to you. You can still get quite a pretty penny on this. Especially because, as far as I know, the original is missing or destroyed, and only so few copies of the Emerald Codex exist. I could probably count on the palm of on one hand, how many there might be copies left. So for you to have a copy, even a copy, can set you up for retirement on the Radiant Citadel if you sold it to the right person.
Everyone's like looking it over. This copy looks pretty well maintained. I don't know if these kinds of books have inherent preservation magic in them.
Typically they do.
So what happened to these books? Why is the original missing? Why are there so few? What happened within the druidic tribes and cultures that have their original coveted Emerald Codex go missing? Because I've read the book, and some of this stuff is like disaster altering magics.
From what I can tell, based on history and knowledge that I know, he was enemies with a certain goddess known as Colonna, a lesser deity.
the Lady of Poison, Mistress of Disease, the Plague Crow. There was a time where Sylvanas and that Tolana actively opposed each other. Of course, Sylvanas was the god of nature, this nurturing but neutral entity for all life, while Tolana was seeking destruction to bring plague upon the lands. After the events of something called the Spell Plague, Sylvanas and Tolana's forces battled it out, amongst other forces, some from Talos, some forces from Monandar, and some from Malar. Those forces clashed within one another, and Sylvanas eventually came on top. Malar eventually became subject to Sylvanas' rule as a resident of the Deep Wilds, but Sylvanas did not rein him in, and Sylvanas continued his rule over nature as he's been doing for the last several thousands of years on Toro and beyond. This Emerald Codex, the original, was supposedly stolen from Sylvanas' codexes and their libraries from within the Deep Wilds. From there, history can point to it was destroyed in a great battle, one of the many battles from the Spell Plague. It was taken and lost to time. It was sold off to the highest bidder. It was kept away in secret by Sylvanas to have this pretension that it was gone forever and only so few codexes left. But the original's still safe. I do not know exactly where the original is at. And that's all I know.
So, like, do I just hold on to it? And Bayhorn's just like kind of flabbergasted.
I, in my humblest opinion, would keep it. Unless you somehow run into a very hard, strenuous amount of coin that you need, then I would sell it to a druid or someone who is rich and would like to keep it into their personal collection. But I would keep it. More for history's sake, I suppose. But it is your book. You can do what you want with it.
Alright. Random question too. Not at all relevant to any topic we've gone over. You know anything about a first forge as he's putting his book away?
First Forge. I've heard rumors, not exactly lore, for to speak. Why do you ask?
I found a book about it, wondering if it exists, where it is.
You found a book
Found
on
like,
it?
yeah, I found a manual about it.
Did you read it?
Yeah, it's gone over some pretty advanced forging techniques.
Then you
Me
would know more
being
than I
a
would.
forger, I needed that. But I was wondering if you knew anything about just what it is, where it might be, who would have made it.
I would not know. I apologize. I've know of rumors,
Some storm gods might have created it to create this deep forge. The first forge itself is rumored to be hidden deep within the elemental planes of existence. Other than that, I do not know. Maybe you need the manual of the first forge that you have in your possession to find it. Maybe it's just a old tale to deter, I do not know, onlookers, treasure seekers away from it.
Well, wherever it is, hopefully it's not destroyed or anything. Sounds like a cool place to go visit.
I hope you do find it if you go looking for it. Take plenty of notes and please come back to me. But he gets up from his chair. It's time for me to escort you out, I suppose.
I agree.
Then come this way. I'll lead you out.
And I'll follow him.
You follow him out. You, Bayhorn, at this point in time, you see this big open office area, and you see Thistlewick is still writing on his parchment on the very back end.
Hmm.
He doesn't even pay you any attention.
Hmm.
Would you like to continue following?
Yeah, I won't stir up trouble.
Alright. As both of you follow your way out, Bayhorn, you finally see the internal hallway where you see all the different doors with the different plaques of item names and descriptors. Eventually, you get out to the outside, and Kayasaya, at this point in time, it took them like a good 30 minutes of them talking and going through it all. You finally see them walk into the back area. They are unharmed. They are still with the gentleman that went back there with Fukler, and they seem fine.
I'll telepathically ask them. Good?
Oh no, he robbed us.
Yeah, we have nothing now.
Yep, I'm naked, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roll a deception check.
I rolled a 23.
I
Alright,
feel like
Nate,
this. I feel like this should be a disadvantage because, like, hello,
you want me to
I'm
re-roll?
physically looking at them.
You want me to re-roll? I already rolled a 5.
You
Oh,
already rolled a 5.
you're
Nah, it's
fine.
fine. So here's the thing: the DC check for deception was like extremely high because, of course, you could see them. So you
Mhm.
don't believe them.
Well, how high was it? Tell me.
28.
Ah.
Mhm.
Oh,
28
I could have
Admit
gotten
it,
naturally.
I
that.
Or
tried.
it was a 28 naturally, or if you had hit the natural 20, I would have allowed it to happen.
I could have gotten that,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Man, the one time I rolled good on deception. Damn it, man. What a
Damn it,
19.
man.
Dang it.
I know, right?
Alright. I need
You
to clarify,
know,
Rigby.
I can. What
I mean, how would I know? You get your face shoved in a book. I thought you went blind.
are you talking? I'm looking at you.
Yeah. What if you need like magic glasses?
I'm looking at you, and there's also restoration magic.
I mean, I guess you want to be boring about it.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh yeah, no. We found some stuff out. I need to go back to the ship and do some stuff. Other than that, it's all good. Um, I also just came up with a very silly idea for before every long rest, Adrian.
But at this point in time, Darian kind of steps next to Syra and he tells her, "Thanks for keeping an eye on the customers for me. I had a very insightful meeting with these two gentlemen here. You can take a break if you'd like." Sire kind of looks over at Fukler and Behorn and back to him. Okay, I'm not going to. I'm not going to say no to an extra break. I appreciate it. Do you want me to pick you up anything? Do you want any snacks or any coffee or drinks at the inn nearby so I can get some food? Um, no thanks. I appreciate it. It's not that much longer until my shift ends, so I can get some food on my own time. Appreciate it. All right, if you say so. Boys, have a good day. I'll see you guys later, possibly, or maybe not. And then she just walks on out.
Have a good one.
An informative session with you two.
Ooh.
And guess what? The one thing you're gonna hate as a knowledge-seeking entity, you can never know what we talked about.
Yep. We're
We
never
were
gonna
sworn
tell
to
you.
secrecy,
We're
confidentiality.
never gonna tell you. Ever.
You hear Finnegan also communicate with all you guys telepathically because I assume Kaisai you have all of them linked at the same time.
Yeah.
You hear Finnegan.
Although I am very visibly staring those two down.
Yeah, of course. You hear Finnegan kind of appear in all of your heads, and you hear Finnegan go, "Are you guys? Did you guys find a way to break in, or are we not doing that tonight?"
No, these people are cool. We
Yeah,
got lucky
no.
by hiring some cool people.
We can rob Thistlewick himself, not the rest of these dudes.
Yeah, they're okay. They don't deserve that.
So what happened to this vendetta? I thought you were gonna burn this place down.
Oh,
No, I
Thistlewick's
am.
a bitch. I just didn't
I
expect him to hire more people.
I
I didn't expect
prepared
them to hire
Fireball
nice
for this
people.
occasion.
You know, we can fireball him when he leaves. He doesn't live here, surely.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I fucking hope so.
Well,
If he lived here,
alright.
that'd be quite weird.
That'd be sad, actually. I'd feel sorry for him as I
All those
like
riches
make
for
him
him to
drain the
live in his
blood.
office.
You would be the type, though, wouldn't he?
All those riches
Yeah.
for a captain to live aboard on her own ship. How sad. No, woe is me.
Hey,
Sad.
why are you picking on me?
Catching
Fucking time
strays.
wizards.
I know I am catching strays. I don't like this.
Fucking
Anyway,
time wizards, man, with their own shiny ships and shit.
Goddamn time wizards and
Hey,
fucking
I
shitting ass and
I
stuff.
built this shit with my bare fucking hands.
No, Chakna built the ship.
Actually, we built it together.
So Chakna built the ship.
No, we built
I'm
it
not
together.
wrong.
I'm not wrong either.
Well, I'm not wrong either.
So what you're saying is Chakna built the ship.
We built the
Exactly.
ship.
So he built the ship. Right.
You know, the much more complicated systems I built.
The
So what
ship
you're
is
saying
not one of them, though.
He built the ship.
We built the ship. The ship is of my design.
But he built it.
He helped lay down the metal
But he
working and did
built
the
it.
word working.
Ah, he built it. I see.
I said helped.
He built it.
I also
Fukler?
installed all of the crystalline systems.
We'll just say he built it.
Glares at you
Oh,
even
god
more.
damn it, my headset's critical.
damn.
So he built it.
He built it.
No!
He built it. Vicious
No.
mocker.
Vicious mockery for 8
Vicious
damage.
You gotta hit me though.
Oh my god. I don't know, man. You seem pretty tilted. I think he hit
Oh
you.
yeah? Oh yeah? Looks at Chakna.
Alright, roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Chakna he just shrugs and he says, "This is your crew. You chose them."
Roll a wisdom saving throw for me, Shelby.
Do you actually gonna try and hit him with it?
Yeah.
Fine, let's hit.
Ooh. let's ignore. I never did
Oh.
vicious mockery. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so are you gonna forego the vicious mockery?
I was
Nah, do
gonna
it.
in the for the sake of the bit, I was gonna do it, but that hit, and I'm regretting it all of a sudden.
Nah, do it.
Well, you
I-
you did it though. You did it though.
I'll do it. No takesies backsies. It
Okay.
was a saving throw of
Alright.
15. You're hit.
Got it. Since you vicious mockeried her, it's considered psychic damage, and since all of you are currently interlinked, you all take that damage split.
Oh shit. So
So-
what? It was 8 damage, so we all
It's-
take 2 damage.
2 across
2, 4,
everybody.
6, 8. Well, there's 5 of you linked at the current moment because it's you, Bayhorn, Kaisaya,
Kayasai could take an extra 2.
Finnegan, and Chakna. So it would be, yeah. So basically, it'd be
1.5 did 2 damage.
so everybody. Let's just say everybody gets 2 damage.
But China is resistant to.
So he gets 1.
He's resistant to what? Psychic damage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So everybody takes 2 except for Chakna. He takes 1.
I
You all
imagine
do-
this as like the telekinetic. You see a dude get kicked in the balls, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah. You see like somebody get cooked in the groin, and then you feel like that same aching sensation. It's not hurting. It's just ow,
Oh,
type of thing.
ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
However, at this point in time, as you guys are currently reeling to the very sudden but very light pain, you see Darian kind of look at all of you guys and be like, "Are you all right? Do you guys need some water?"
Nah, we're alright.
All right, fair enough.
Some friendly banter between crew members.
Funny.
Got it. Well, I need to get back to my duties since I've been away from the table for so long, as I see another line about to queue up. Please, contact me again if you need any more research or insight on any of your weapons or artifacts. Just give me another day. The eyeball kind of takes me quite a lot out of my resources, and then I would have to use my own resources to continue my job from the day to day.
And that's not very fun.
How much did you
Yeah.
have him look at?
A lot.
A
Nothing.
lot.
Good lord.
Alright, I know what I'm
Anyways.
gonna take now. I'm gonna just keep going with my dick for my free spell.
Have yourself a good day.
And we're out of there.
So, as you guys,
Now it goes back
reconvene.
invisible.
what do you guys do as you guys are now all garnered and gathered together once again?
Well, as we're leaving, I will telepathically ask Bayhorn. So, no thieving, bad, breaking the laws I turn a blind eye to.
No, these people are cool. I don't want to get them into any hassle.
Okay.
He also told me cool stuff about my sword. Apparently the snake inside his name is Raikou.
Interesting. Well, let's go pick up the girls. Yeah, let's go pick up the girls. They're just across. And we can hit the ship and get.
Also, Fukler, I have a brilliant idea to make money every night, or have a chance
What?
of making money every night.
What?
I'm gonna draw 5 cards from the deck of wonder every night
I'm
before I
going
go
to
to bed.
beat your ass.
You are not allowed to draw
I'm
that
going
card
to
on
beat
my
your
ship.
ass.
It's a good idea, man. I have a 1 in how many chance of getting like 500 gold?
And you have a 1 in how many chances of destroying my ship?
None actually.
How many chances of those cards is the get ambushed card?
I don't think there is a get ambushed card in Deck of Wonder. It's literally the baby deck of many things. Like it doesn't hurt anybody but me. I told you.
All right.
As you guys
He's
all
reading metagaming
reconvene,
really fast.
okay. As you guys all reconvene and make your way over to the Red Canopy Inn, as that's where you left the girls at, Finnegan walks alongside you as well, and he states in your telepathic link, "So, did you guys want to purchase anything later from that store, or are we going to actively avoid it?"
Hmm.
I wouldn't
Well,
recommend
as far as I'm
purchasing,
concerned,
considering it's
we
price
just stole
gouging.
we just stole thousands of gold worth of bludgeon luring off of one guy, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty satisfied.
Was his legend lore more unique than Kayasai's or my own?
He had a greater,
Yes.
vast knowledge on
He's more
history
connected on
itself.
like everything.
He is the
Huh.
bookwormiest of bookworms.
That's
He is a
interesting.
scribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
He's pretty alright.
Well, let's stay friendly terms with him then.
I agree.
Shelby, nothing in this deck hurts your ship.
Okay.
It
At this point
literally
in time-
just hurts me.
As you guys are making your way, you see at the front of the Red Canopy Inn, you see the half orc that has like kind of like gray patchy skin, with a man bun in the back with his braids leaning into the man bun, as he's wearing these like tattered tanned shirt with like a blue collar and some tattered and dirty pants. He's currently sweeping up what seems to be like broken glass outside of the tavern of the Red Canopy Inn. You remember it's Kajel.
Kajal.
And you guys come up to him and he kind of looks at all of you guys. He's like, "Hey, old folks, welcome to the Red Canopy Inn. Wait a minute. Is it? I remember you folk. You, at least you three. I don't know you and I don't know you," as he points to Chakna and Finnegan.
They're new. Relatively new.
Adrian,
Well,
does he
Yeah, what's
know
up?
about the crab incident from the first time?
You can ask him.
No, I'd rather not.
He kind of like continues on and he stops sweeping up. He's already swept up most of the glass that got broken. It's good to see you again. It's been what, 7-8 months Radiant Citadel time comparatively to wherever you guys have been.
Sounds about right.
That's good. That's good. Here to claim in those vouchers.
Yes.
Kukler looks at Kayasaya. Are we?
I gave my voucher to Ysolde.
Do we remember what the vouchers were for?
Rooms.
Did they include
Rooms and food.
Rooms and food.
Then yes.
Rooms and one meal.
Then yes.
Well, perfect. I can get you all situated. How many rooms are you looking? We got, I think, well, we had a group of ladies use a voucher earlier, so that's one room down. We have 2 rooms left available. Do you guys want one big room, or you want to take one big room and one small room?
What do you think, Bayhorn?
We're not gonna stay for too long, I believe. And he looks at
No.
everybody in confirmation. So
Oh,
I think we will leave your rooms for some paying customers. If it's all right, we'll just take a free meal for our voucher. If that's all right
That's-
with everybody else. And he looks at everybody again.
We could also hopefully potentially donate the room to refugees that don't have housing.
That too, yeah.
well, I'd be happy to take those vouchers off your hands, and we can give you some free food, certainly. If you want to use that voucher room for a refugee, then I see no issue with that.
You two are the ones who have the remaining. I gave mine to Ysolde.
I just want food, man.
Sure, why not?
Food was good here when I came here last.
as you guys are conversing and talking, you see um, the woman from the store that you guys just left, Syra, currently walk out with like a bundle of like food, like inside like a wrapped like some sort of weird wrapping, but you can smell like there's food inside. And she kind of passes by. She's like, "Oh, you guys are already here. Um, hope you guys have a good day. I'll hopefully see you later over at Thistlewicks at the Arcane Oddities. Have a good day." And she just passes by. Oh, Kajel, please leave a tip for Lily for me. She helped me out with the food. All right. See you later. Anyways, you all care to want to step inside and take a seat? I'll get you all situated.
Sure.
Sure.
I need to take a break.
All right. Step inside. As he leads you all inside, you hear various chitter chatter and laughter. Um, the chitter chatter and laughter you hear mainly coming from a side table that has more empty seats, enough to fill the majority of your party. And you see it's Glenn, Isolde, and Tiana all currently having some food and drink together. As they all like look at you and they wave you down, and Kajal kind of looks at them and looks at you guys like, "Do you know those ladies?"
Yeah.
They're part of our crew.
Oh, well then, I'll get you some extra chairs so you guys can sit on the edge of the tables. Go meet up with them. I'll be right back. And as he goes off to fetch extra chairs and you guys go meet up with the ladies, we're gonna call it for a break so we can go get food and rest up a little bit. So I'll see you guys in about 30, maybe 40-ish minutes.
Cool.
All right. See you guys then.
I just wanna make this announcement before I leave. I can't believe that for the Steam Awards, Farming Simulator actually won something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actual shit.
Actual shit.
And with that, now I will leave and charge my
Alright.
headset while I am.
All right. We'll take a 30 to 40-minute break. Catch you guys soon.
$2,000 paperweight.
I know. I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping on Monday, whenever I get that call, we can figure something
Oh,
out.
there's no Impact Masterwork, is there?
No.
Do you imagine if there was an Impact Masterwork?
Impact
wild.
Masterwork. Whoa.
But yeah, we can call it. I mean, who knows? We might be able to play tomorrow if you're feeling better. If not, we could just play this coming up Saturday again. Because I know you guys go to school in 2 weeks, right?
Oh, you said
Around there.
it. Oh.
You can't keep living off of not going forever.
But here's the fun thing. I might have Thursday off this
God.
week.
Oh, she might have. No, you do have Thursday off this week, Shelby, because of President's
Might,
Friday.
might.
Oh, might. That's
I
so
do
funny.
work in a hospital,
True.
Hospital.
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 but I might have Thursday off.
Alright, Adrian, you ready to see me lose like 4 games in a row?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since
I
we
wanna
aren't
watch you
playing
lose.
D&D anymore?
Yeah.
I wanna watch you
Now I
lose.
can go. Now I can go full ape shit brain rot.
Full ape. Full,
Iron tier player.
Monkey brain rot. Ooga
I'm using
booga.
the gun that I